if I go to a future con, is some Mandy simp gonna come over and ruin all my books? So I'm like, I guess I better have cameras so that whatever happens, I can prove it. Is somebody gonna walk up and like pretend that I shook their hand? Like, now I have to think about this. And I don't want to take my kid either. I don't want to take my kid to a convention where there might be some weird crazy person who thinks that I did some weird stuff. So like, now I have to think about all this, even though it's stupid.
If I can cut to the chase, I'd ask, what the hell happened in 2023? To briefly sum it up for those of you watching from outside this childish circle, Comicscape was this consumer movement that pushed back against misandrist, anti-Christian propaganda being pushed by weirdos in the comic industry. If you have 3 hours and 53 minutes to kill, check out my documentary on the culture war hit those pretty pictures for a detailed rundown of how that movement fell and fell hard. When I went over some of the significant events that defined the rise and fall of Comicsgate, there was a particular sequence of events that I did not cover. It wasn't because I forgot to, or that I didn't believe it was important to chronicle. On the contrary, this documentary you're about to watch is proof of how important it is to chronicle.
I have to understand why the Dungeoneers were pro Kickstarter.
Why?
It maybe didn't say it. And I don't know.
I know Patrick was, yeah.
Yeah, Patrick was, but I think she's going to all platforms, including Fund My Comic. So
these guys are like, I'm going to Kickstarter. I'm moving to Kickstarter. My new book is going to be on Kickstarter. As a way of saying, fuck you, Comicscape. Fuck you.
The truth is, I didn't realize at the time of doing that documentary the depths of how deep this runs. The behind-the-scenes shenanigans, the backstabbing, the weakness behind refuting criticism, the lack of self-reflection. In Comicscape, there was a period where a group of creators that thrived on releasing books consistently, on time, and with growing fan appreciation, maintained the movement's health and expansion.
Vaughn also bullshits so much I can't tell when he's joking or not.
It's the perfect shield. It's the perfect armor, Vaughn. You just have
It's a
basically
perfect armor.
bullshit all the time. You can get away with being an
He's
idiot
not
sometimes.
nearly as good at it as Jake is, though.
This was a collective that built friendships among each other, collaborations, and fan enthusiasm. But this collective was also the target of a group of self-proclaimed comic book professionals who went to great lengths to smear them.
Dungeoneers gonna jump Shane. Shane, you think people are out there partying right now? It's 12:30.
Are there any like sex clubs in the area? Because that's where they tend to like party at.
congregate.
This collective of artists and fans were only a collective because of their attendance at the 2023 Tampa Bay Comic Con. Otherwise, each person tied to their attendance at this convention were individuals with unique paths. Doing this documentary opened my eyes to how insane all of what you're about to see unfolded was. This movie is a collection of archived live streams, posts on social media, and some exclusive interviews for this presentation. There were a lot of live streams that have since been deleted off the internet. Some information given to me behind the scenes had to be verified. Otherwise, it would be discarded or used with caution, depending on the information. To the best of my ability, I've pieced together the sequence of events to answer the question of why this group of creators and fans were targeted, maliciously joked about, and eventually pushed out of a comic book movement that claimed to be about indie comics.
I know that's cheesy, but it's fucking true. And everybody there needs to hear it.
Grab a coffee, some popcorn. This one is going to be a wild one.
Hail the Dungeoneers!
When I announced I was doing this documentary, the replies from those who still followed Ethan van Sciver and his Comicsgate was predictable. Get in line and know your place, peasant. 2023 will be a banner year for CG's attendance at conventions. The amount of books, art, and merch that will be available brought forth what no one thought would be Comicsgate's last bump. Ron Coleman, the writer for his successful Phenomenova comic books, talked about meeting PTP at MegaCon on February 2023 for the first time, and this meeting would set the stage for the gathering at Tampa Bay later that year.
First time I had ever met Patrick or gotten involved with, streaming with these guys or anything, it was MegaCon. I had met Anna there. I met Anna, that Star Wars girl. I met Graham. I met Chrissy Mayer, and a bunch of us were hanging out like the whole weekend. And it was like, cool, let's do more of that. And then, I would go to cons a lot. And Patrick was talking about doing another. And then I think he ended up not being able to get into MegaCon from what I remember. And it was a whole discussion. Oh, we got to have another one. I've been networking and we're talking to all these people. Let's do a meetup. I don't really care where it is. Let's just, okay. And then he sets his eyes on Tampa. Okay, cool. We're into Tampa. Like my business, getting my cover art, to have something to show, even if I can't have a book out by then. And it was like fun. I got the excuse to hang out with some friends, a lot of people in person, some people I had met, some people I hadn't, people I'd been streaming with. And it was a really cool experience for that reason. And Patrick had asked me, he's like, hey, I need someone to be like my right-hand man at the booth. And I was like, hell yeah. So that's what my role was. I was always around the booth helping everyone out. Like, hey, this person needs a coffee. This person needs blah, blah, blah. That was kind of my whole thing.
The idea of a Comicscape convention, dubbed for the Fansfest, had been talked about for years within CG. Patrick Thomas Parnell, aka PTP of Riot Press Publishing, said to me that Ethan van Sciver approached him and his wife Whitney about investigating venues in Orlando for the CG convention. He said, we hopped around to 2-3 different venues. One particular was the one that I really wanted to do Fansfest on, was the Doubletree. So we went and looked at the Doubletree ballroom and we talked to the hotel. There was a chat that was going on. It was me, and I think Billy Tucci was in there. I don't know why, but J Bomba Shit My Pants was in the chat too. So we did all this research on it and reported back, because one of the reasons why Frog was like, you guys should do this, was because I was doing a lot of conventions and a lot of CG fans were showing up. So I think he saw it as we were already doing conventions. Let's get these guys on it. And we were happy because at that point, everyone was kind of like getting along. So it was a lot easier. But when we reported back, it was like radio silence. I tried a couple times to get a response to it, and he just never responded, so we were just like, okay, just forget it. And we actually left the chat because there's no point in being in there if no one's being serious about Fansfest. It was clear to us that Fansfest was just a talking point. It wasn't a real thing that anyone was really considering. PTP gave his account of his experience at MegaCon, and how it led him to gather the collective of artists and writers for his Riot Press booth at Tampa Bay Con later that year. For 13 or 14 years, I had a booth at MegaCon down here in Florida. And this year we got refunded our money from MegaCon even though we had already booked it. The reason was, there was a CG person that was starting trouble at San Diego Comic Con. I think Mark Brooks was getting the MegaCon people to keep Comicscape people out of there. That included me because there was a list of comic people that was available on comicsgate.org that was very easy to find. I was extremely upset about this because this person that was starting trouble in San Diego was just a tourist. 2 years before this, especially the year before this at MegaCon, we had a big gathering, and it was very organic. It wasn't like we planned it. It was a lot of CG people just happened to show up at MegaCon the year before this. We looked at all different types of options. We were going to rent out a room at the hotel that was hosting MegaCon, and we were going to have a little CG con inside of MegaCon. We didn't think that was going to be an issue. Well, we tried doing that, and MegaCon stopped that. The hotel organizer had to talk to MegaCon about it because they wanted to make sure that there wasn't any competition or something like that. But MegaCon told the hotel, no. As it turned out, the first official CG gathering would not happen in Tampa Bay in July. It would happen a month earlier, in June, at the Garden State Comic Fest. I had read on Twitter that Ethan van Sciver had a table there, so I made the choice to drive an hour and a half away to attend. Anthony Romano, aka Dark Gift Comics, attended, as did Billy Tucci, Graham Nolan, Cecil, Dan Fraga, and others. This was the first official live gathering of Comicsgaters. The hype and excitement over this would spill over to Tampa Bay Comic Con the following month.
Here are the art books and I'm going to have at Tampa. I'm so glad they arrived on time. Oh my gosh! They look awesome.
And now, the epicenter of this drama, the 2023 Tampa Bay Comic Con. Along with Von Coleman, this included Irene Strakowski, Per Berg aka Narwhal, Bill and Brandon Diaz, Michael Bancroft, and Camel Moon. PTP had also invited Cecil to the booth as well. All of them did not share the booth simultaneously. They rotated that weekend according to PTP. Ali Sanguis, writer of the upcoming comic Egg Beater and a friend to Irene Strakowski aka Reinie, would also hang around at the booth.
I went to Tampa Bay Comic Con, and I only went to Saturday and Sunday. I spent most of my time at the Comic Con sitting on the floor because I hurt my knee, and I had surgery, and I was going through physical therapy, so I couldn't do that much walking, and I didn't really feel comfortable hanging out at the booth because I think there were 3 people sharing the booth. It was like Reinie and PTP and somebody else. And their booth was really popular. So I didn't feel very comfortable hanging out there when I didn't have anything to sell. I didn't know anybody. I didn't want to be in the way. So most of my time I actually spent sitting in the far corner. It was like catty corner to where all of the celebrities were. I was just kind of sitting over there, or I think I went to 2 or 3 panels. There were not very many people from CG there. I think there was Graham Nolan, and then Shane Davis and Mandy, and then the people that were at Rainie's.
I can't see anything.
Is Anna in the chat?
Yep.
Is
Anna in the chat? No, it says this is my show. Just say hi.
Well, I know it's your show, but is Anna in the chat? Because he said, "Hey,
she's in over here."
No. What do you mean? What's my outfit? What do you think my outfit is?
I don't know. Anna, how dare you?
Give us a spin.
What? I'm trolling.
You should say I'm over on John.
You're welcome.
Like, I subscribe to OnlyFans to see the rest.
Friday night, July 28th, was the first night of the Tampa festivities. It was a night that would turn what was supposed to be a fun and eventful gathering into a series of lies. The biggest lie told was on that Friday night, Manny and PTP's crew went to a BDSM sex dungeon. Let us look at the facts and dispel this falsehood once and for all. The Castle is a famous Gothic industrial nightclub in the Ybor City neighborhood of Tampa. Let us further explore what the Castle is and the infamous lower level, the Dungeon. The Dungeon hosted such events as 80s Video Night. The Castle was also a venue for the Endless Nights Tampa Vampire Ball, held early that year, along with regular weekend dance and party events with DJs on its Friday and Saturday nights. The weekend of Tampa Bay Comic Con, a lot of guests, vendors, and more who attended the con all went to the Castle either on Friday night or the cosplay contest Saturday the 29th. On the Castle site, it promoted the Castle cosplay night Lucky 13 Return to Rapture. For that Saturday the 29th, no doubt meant to bring in visitors from Tampa's Comic Con.
We might not even go.
Want to walk next to everybody and look at other outfits?
Yeah, we can just give everyone stickers.
So they have kind of like a comic book themed party the whole weekend. So I'm not sure if the contest was that night or if it was the night afterwards or if we missed it. But the castle is where they have the cosplay contest. So they're not going to have a cosplay contest at a swingers club. They're not going to have the cosplay party or the cosplay contest at a gay bar. Among some of the attendees to the castle were PTP and his wife, Reinie, Von Coleman, Cecil, Mr. Biggins. Among those who didn't attend were Phil Diaz, Michael Bancroft, Kelsey Shannon, and Camel Moon.
You seek to defy death, that you cannot even defy sleep. How like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
So everyone was like, oh, we have to go do something at the con because we're all out, you know, this is our time to do something. We're like, what is there to do? And I think PTP was like, oh, there's this club we could go to. And we were like, sure. And they said it was a goth club. And I was like, wow, I haven't been to a goth club in like 20 years.
And then what happened was, I remember, and this kind of thing happens when you organize things at cons. You have everything planned out, and then people are like, oh, this kind of club, I don't know. And a lot of people were dressed up. It was weird. It was like half the people were ready to go, half weren't. I had this like outfit that wasn't fitting at all. I remember J-Bam like laughed when he saw my outfit. So I was like, you know what? Fine. I changed my shirt and we go. But I'm like, I don't care. I'm ready to have fun. Like, the whole goth thing, it's like, yeah, this seems like a fun experience. And I think some people were like, oh, I don't know, that's not my scene. And I'm like, it's just, and I was at a point where I'm like, I don't even care. I just want to hang out with people. But this does sound like fun. Like, I've never been to a place like this. I was talking with Reinie and she's like, oh, I don't know. We're trying to figure out. We need to figure out the plan. I'm like, just relax. We're going to figure something out. And I think it was Cecil was like, no, we are going to this club.
All those Dungeoneers sat around that night, unmotivated to do anything degenerate, and then
they called it off.
The elevator doors opened up and outpoured Cecil on acid.
Freshly coming off of an acid trip. Everybody thought I was washed up, gone for the night. I saw everybody sitting around the hotel lobby drinking, and I said,
being miserable.
We're going out, motherfuckers. We ain't staying here.
Yeah.
And we had a good night.
But the ironic thing, according to what Ali Sanguis had told me, was that the dungeon itself was not open the weekend of July 28th, 2023. It was only hosting events every first Friday of the month, and Ali herself had told me she didn't know about the dungeon until she heard Jon Malin talk about it on stream weeks later.
I personally didn't even know there was a basement until the months and months later when Malin was streaming about it, and he was looking at the website itself. But that's all that I knew. I didn't know about that. But the thing is, like, if you look at the pictures, it doesn't look like this crazy place. It looks like somebody filled a Spirit Halloween with like couches. But like I said, we didn't even know it was there because there was no way to get back there. We didn't even see the door. We just walked in and out. It was not open that weekend. And so when you go in, there's like the front door and you go right up the stairs, which is what we did. There was an area on the side where you could go in, and that was just like a bar. We thought it was just a different bar, actually. So we went upstairs to like the I don't know, goth dance floor or whatever. It wasn't really, but we spent our time there. It was kind of lame. There was that one weirdo that we made fun of, like I said.
This place has been coined as like a swingers club, like a gay club. I know Frog wished it was a gay club, but it wasn't. It's just a regular club. I remember a remark was made by one of the gals that came with us that was expecting it to be like this crazy gothic club. And she said, this place is like a regular club. I was like, yeah, everyone kind of built this thing up even before that it was something that it wasn't.
It's called the Castle, and that's because it's in a really old building. They weren't even playing goth music, by the way. They're like, it's a goth club. But they were playing like really bad electronica and then like a single Cure song while the DJ like went to the bathroom. And there was nobody dressed up, no goths there at all, because it was just a bunch of nerds from the con who I think went to the goth club because they wanted to find their like big titty goth GF.
But wait a minute, I thought it was supposed to be a sex club. We're like some kind of
It's not a sex club. So we're there and it's lame as hell. There was like a dance floor and we're kind of watching other people dance to this shitty music.
For a lot of the basement dwellers, the idea of going to a club is so alien to them. A lot of the people that were just at home were skewed into thinking that it was something that it wasn't, very easily just because they don't get out of the house. And also, Frog is an influencer. He's no longer a comic book creator. And it's very easy for him to go, oh, it's a gay bar. And I've come to find out, as soon as Frog says something with a certain group of people, it just becomes written in stone. It's a gay bar. It's very white bread. It's not like a strip club or anything like that. Now, some remarks were made about there was a half-naked guy running around. Yeah, that's true. He was also with 2 halfway naked girls on both his arms. Everyone focuses on, oh, there was a naked guy running around. He wasn't naked. He was barely wearing anything. But the girls that he was with were barely wearing anything too.
You'll be very disappointed. It was a really rather mundane thing.
And then John, like the Grinch looking down on Whoville, was like, they're not having fun.
They're not having fun.
Yeah, they're just degenerate, those Who's in Whoville.
Oh, I figured they were having a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had fun.
I mean, that's degeneracy is fun, right? I mean, that's the kind of thing. It's that, ooh, this is naughty. Having a lot of fun doing this. Look at that butt plug up that dude's butt. Yeah.
Yeah, he even let us take it out and sniff it.
We go, and it was lame. It was like the lamest club that I've ever been to in my life.
The guys were masturbating to the girls we were with. It's like, no, they weren't. Like, that shit never, like then their own stories started going on. Like, no one was jerking off. No one was. First of all, we were with Biggins, who literally looks like Thor.
That friggin' jackass Biggins, he was there.
Oh, you're not a Biggins fan?
No, I hated him from the frickin' moment I saw him. He's a dickhead.
Like, you ain't. And these guys look like the guys who were nude were like elderly. They were like what you expect on a nude beach. It's always old men like that are like emaciated.
Yeah,
that's
disgusting.
Like, you are not fucking. Yeah, that's what it was. It was like 2 guys like that, and a couple of girls that were naked were okay. But there was like 1,000 people in a club and like 3 or 4 people that were nude. It was bullshit.
But there was the one guy walking around with a thing in his ass, and I thought that was hilarious, and I thought this is going to be a great bit on the stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. Someone actually, I look at the guy, and I give someone my phone, and I go, like, take a picture, and I go, and I point at the naked guy. It was hysterical. I mean, I didn't talk to him. God, no, but I took the picture because I thought it was funny as hell. And then the next day at the con, I went around, and I was like, Graham, I showed Mandy, Shane, I was like, this place was insane. Like, this will be hilarious. Not thinking that the joke that people would like actually twist it into something. I was like, oh well, we're all friends. We'll all agree this is funny.
Saturday night, July 29th, there was a big dinner where PTP, the Diaz brothers, Shane Davis, Graham Nolan, Irene Strakowski, Camel Moon, Kelsey Shannon, and more had attended. PTP talked about how Shane Davis was concerned about the quote-unquote optics of a gathering of CGers without Mandy Summers. He kept on talking about the optics. He was like, well, if Mandy's not going to be there, then the optics are going to be bad. And I was like, I don't care. She's the one that disappeared. What the fuck do I care? At the end of the day, she didn't even come to the dinner. So it didn't even matter. PTP said this about the Saturday night dinner. J-Bama shit my pants, set up for us to go to a Brazilian steakhouse. And the first thing I noticed when we go there is Mandy's not there. Shannon made such a big deal about the optics of her being there, and then she didn't even bother to go, which I thought was fucking hilarious. But I kind of didn't care at that point. But again, dinner was great. everyone had a great time at dinner. You know, it's a strange thing being told you didn't have a good time and you didn't have a successful dinner, and the con you went to wasn't actually successful. And even though there was 30 to 35, maybe even 40 CG hardcore fans, were being told it was not a successful event. Very strange thing to come home to that. And we started getting rumbles of this Saturday night. I think Shannon and Mandy were kind of poo-pooing the event on Ballers and maybe on stream with Frog and Melon. With the exception of those two, everyone was having a killer time. So Saturday we started to hear rumbles about Melon talking shit about the convention, a convention he's not at. He has no first-hand experience. He might be getting fed information from Shannon or whatever. Shannon bends the knee to Frog and Melon. He's very scared of those two. So if they don't like something, he's going to go along with it.
Did you see that picture of everybody having dinner?
Yeah. Well, I've
Speaking
seen a
of
couple
Patrick
pictures.
Parnell.
I've seen a couple pictures. Oh, I know what you're talking. Ethan, I know exactly what you're talking.
Pull that up too.
You're like me. You saw this picture and like, oh, let me go through here and see all the pleasant faces of all these comic skaters. And as you're zoomed in and looking for any kind of deformities or anything that
Oh, I wasn't. I was like, oh, look at all the wonderful people I could have met had I gone there.
So insult me instead. I get up. Graham Nolan booked like a whole cigar place, a cigar party, and we're gonna head to that. I have no idea what this is gonna be like because I've never even been to a cigar party. It's probably gonna involve smoking cigars. Well, yes. Thank you very much for that elucidation.
After the dinner, many of the creators went to Graham Nolan's cigar party. PTP was one of the few who rested for the evening.
I'm 5'7", so that's how tall they are. I'm 5'7".
Doesn't matter. It's my best friend Shelby, right?
Hi, Shelby. Why aren't you here, Shelby?
Yeah, why are you here, Shelby?
Why aren't you here? You should be partying with us. No.
Vaughn, did you get spanked by Big Titty Gotchick? No, I did not.
I got knives. Look.
Put one foot up on the table.
Why?
For fun.
Before the start of Tampa Bay Con, there was an incident that occurred in the wee hours of July 28th. Shane Davis and Cecil were on a Jack Show livestream with panelists Anna That Star Wars Girl, Jon Malin, Ethan van Sciver, and Nina Infinity. Shane was about to draw a penis on a sleeping man.
He's all covered up.
Draw a dick on his back going
You
into
should
his
draw it
butt.
on his back, yeah.
Wait.
This guy's gonna punch. Oh my! Oh my!
It's important to note that Ethan and Malin were on this stream witnessing Shane commit a misdemeanor battery violation of Florida Statute 784.03, drawing on the man without his consent, and also violating statute number 810.145, recording the incident to degrade the person, which violates privacy statutes.
Complete stranger, he just drew on.
Get him a new marker.
Get a picture of it. Hold on, pull back and get a nice picture of it, guys.
Back, zoom out.
Zoom out. Shane, now get down with it and do a thumbs up.
That doesn't look like a...
Oh, shit.
Keep in mind, these men shamed a group of creators for going to a club later that evening and then lying about it being a BDSM sex dungeon. This event had been memory hold for years in Comicscape, drawn by the gossip of the Friday night gathering in the castle.
Oh, God. All right. Now
I'm gonna die.
Shane literally just ran up on somebody and drew a dick on their back.
No, on their ass, dude.
Shane Davis escaped this scrutiny for years, encouraged by the very people who targeted the group, who would later be given the label the Dungeoneers.
As far as the Dungeoneers thing goes, that was I wasn't even in that chat room, the Dungeoneers chat room, so I don't know what was said in there. I didn't watch any of the shows where they talked about it. What I do know though is that nothing happened at the club, and a lot of it that was said on other people's live streams is I think just because the truth isn't nearly as exciting as the weird, like, fetish fantasy that was thrown out there.
Sunday, July 30th, the final day of the con. Memories have been made, bonds were established, and a commitment to grow what they had believed was an independent comic book movement was renewed.
But what's up, everybody in the chat? We got 20 people in the chat already, starting the week off strong. It is Monday and a big day to be here after a long weekend. Don't you feel like the weekend was long?
Yeah, I feel like we were not here for a really long time. Not like on the show, but just like where we normally live, like at work and everything. I feel like I've been away for a very long time. But it might be because, you know, usually we're just working and not being up forever and like cramming so much into one day. You know, like so much
like cramming so much meat into us in one day.
Right. Yeah. My sinuses were packed with meat.
Yeah, it's awesome. We'll do a little debriefing. We'll talk about it on Friday as well.
PTP and Ethan van Sciver would get together for a lunch in New Jersey sometime after the con. This was the now infamous lunch where, according to PTP, Ethan confessed he wanted to keep Pit artist Dale Keown poor. The failed Pit omnibus would factor into this drama later. What awaited the creators who attended the convention caught even many on the sidelines watching off guard.
Look, if you go to a sex club, if you go to a sex dungeon, I might laugh about it. What do you want?
Fair enough.
How is that unreasonable? You went to a sex dungeon, you showed it online, you took the pictures of the guy with the butt plugs, and I can't laugh at you for being there?
It seemed Malin and even Shane were going full force on the narrative that these creators went to a sex dungeon. This is something known as illusory truth effect, where repeating something over and over increases the belief that it's true, even if proof to the contrary exists. This is a common thing that EVS and Malin do to their enemies over the years, but one of the common misconceptions is that it began with the Dungeoneers. It did not. It began with the exit of Tim Lim and Doug Ernst from Comicscape back in 2018 over such things as Tim's grievance with Ethan dictating what books were and weren't Comicsgate.
I don't know, because we don't know anyone else who's making Trump books except us.
Earlier today, you said like it seemed like people were backstabbing you, when to me it's really just about people who are friends with Tim and Mark and Brett and Chuck. If you say something, we're going to fight just as much tooth and nail for our friends as you are for Richard, who I also consider a friend as well. So it's like, it's not that we're stabbing you in the back, but we saw something as he's attacking our friend, and our only option is either to zip it and say nothing and let our friend twist in the wind, or come out swinging for him. And I said to myself, I'm going to come out swinging for my friend. If it destroys my YouTube channel, I don't care, because I'm loyal to him.
Then you look at 2020 with one infamous case among CG was the Rob Casey incident. Casey, the writer for Cyborg USA, found himself embroiled in controversy when he liked a tweet back in 2020. A tweet that called creators and CG posers. The problem is, this tweet was in a thread started by Jon Malin himself. And upon seeing that Casey liked that tweet, Malin sent Casey a DM. A DM Casey replied to, but instead of handling it behind the scenes, Malin went public with it, resulting in the infamous Liam Gray livestream, where Malin appeared to lose it against a poised Casey.
And this is the thanks I get from people like Rob.
You're overreacting.
So this is why I shut down Comicscape Presents.
Because I retweeted a tweet.
There is no gratitude. There is no respect.
Bullshit.
No. You think that's respectful for me to go and hit like on a tweet from someone calling you a poser?
I think retweeting.
Is that respectful?
I think retweeting and liking a tweet in a hailstorm of controversy. I retweeted and liked hundreds of tweets yesterday in relation to this controversy.
Right.
Very many. John, I think I've been really, really clear that I respect you, I admire you, I appreciate you having me on.
Great way of showing
I don't think that me liking and retweeting something is a sign of disrespect or a knife in your back. I think I think you have cabin fever, John, and I think you need to go for another walk on the treadmill.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah, I was
can I
on
just-
treadmill.
can I
Thank
just
you.
ask
Yeah, you need to go
something,
for another
Evan?
walk
I'm-
and take a
I'm
break.
trying to be
I think you're a
impossible.
fucking loser. That's what I think. I think you're a fucking asshole. I think you're a fucking cunt.
The narrative was that Casey was talking smack behind Ethan and Malin's back, despite no evidence of this existing. Casey had been blacklisted from Comicsgate after this, despite the fact that Casey crowdfunded and fulfilled his 2 books in a timely manner.
Here's Jay Bama.
I like Jay Bama.
Hold on, let me do a little. I got a little bit of liquor left here. I'm going to give one shot to Jay Bama because Jay Bama was tempted by the devil to go to
And
the
he didn't
sex
go?
bondage thing, and he didn't. No, he's like, "Fuck that, dude. I'm
What a great
happily
guy.
married. I'm not fucking around with Satan."
Cheers.
Jay Bama.
Yeah, Jay Bama, good for you. You know, there's an opportunity to be a leader or a follower in that situation.
Malin used the "It's Just Jokes" shield to justify his continual claim that the CG creators who attended Tampa Bay Comic Con were Dungeoneers who attended a BDSM degenerate sex club. This attempted joke was repeated so many times that even members of these live stream chats believed that not only was it true, but that this caused great harm to CG. Mind you, Shane Davis's alleged felony was already memory hold, and also of note was that Cecil, confirmed by himself and 3 others, was the one who led the charge to go to the castle. Cecil had escaped scrutiny levied upon everyone else. The narrative was so strong that even newcomers to CG in the later years adopted this version of events, despite never having seen, witnessed, or heard from the actual people of the true story.
I got to clear this
Well,
air.
leading up to that, there was
supposedly
a pit
jokes.
situation, and everybody got pissed. Some people got pissy
No,
and
no.
upset about it, and
What
made
was
it fed
what
into
was
people's
supposedly
ears and told them all
jokes-
this bullshit to make them think that they're not part of Comicscape, that they don't want you, they don't need you. It's called a couple of people like Methwin and others that fucking dirtworm people's ears and tell them.
Edwin wasn't
you
even
know,
around
they're-
for this, though, Katie. Edwin was gone for this. He didn't pop back up till after all this happened. What was supposedly jokes initially, which I thought too, and when it very first happened, they did the whole Dungeoneers song to the Mouseketeers and everything, and I thought it was funny. But I thought it was funny for what I thought everybody thought, that this wasn't really a sex club that they went to. It was like one of those LARPing clubs where it's like karaoke night one night, a sex club another night, fucking band on Saturday night. Like it's a club that doesn't have an identity, just does one thing a week.
What happened a little after that?
Hold on. So what started off as jokes, all of a sudden, got to be like, one, I believe it was Malin said, and this is not how CG, and he says he was joking when he said this, and maybe he was, but he said this is not how CG should be represented. You had hundreds of people flood these people's chats saying that, how could you do this to Comicsgate, and all this stuff. So maybe it didn't start with them, but it started with the chat. But the chat fucking went and alienated these people, and when these people tried to go over to them and say, yo, can you fucking knock this shit off, who got butthurt at that?
You didn't mention what happened a little bit after that. The little Dungeoneer files that came out. Come to find out, a lot of them were
Big
kinda up
nothing
in their
burger. I got the
fucking feels.
document. Anybody want the document, email me. info@darkgiftcomics.com. I have the whole 500-page fucking document. It was 5 pages total of the same 3 people talking the same shit. Everybody else was just talking about their books. That was it. It's a big nothing burger. The whole Dungeoneers file is a big nothing burger, and people don't want to hear it.
Really? Because those so-called 3 people we were talking about got into a lot of people's heads and started manipulating them, saying, why would you, they're making fun of you. They're saying this stuff. Look at the way this, you don't want to be a part of Comicsgate. This is not. And they fucking listen to those people instead of facing the people in the chat and say, look, I understand that you guys are upset, but I'm here for Comicsgate, blah, blah. Say what you need to say instead of fucking running your tail between your legs and running off and not,
It was PTP and Biggins because they already had a personal beef against whoever, Ethan or whoever it was. And then it was fucking Kelsey because he felt personally hurt by Anna and Jon. That was it. Had nothing to do with Comicsgate. That was it. You had a couple of other people like taking little snipes, like if Matt's name came up, Joe Ball might have made a fucking comment about Matt. But it was nothing. It wasn't this big conspiracy to try to take down Comicsgate.
Look, man,
I don't think it was all meant to be jokes originally. One of the people weren't joking, whereas maybe the other two were. No, I'm going to say 2 people weren't joking, and only one was joking when this whole Dungeoneers thing came about. All right, you know what? I'm just going to say it. I don't think it was jokes coming from Malin and Shane. I think EVS was joking around initially at first. And I think Malin and Shane had their own personal reasons of why they wanted to rip in to these people specifically. And I think, and mind you, that's fine. I didn't have that big of an issue with that at all. My issue, again, is you don't have to like these people. You don't even have to have them on your show anymore. But why are we kicking these people out and letting them take their customers with them?
Nobody's
that was my
anybody
issue.
out. That's the
They
thing I'm
did.
really tired of.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
They kick them out. I'm so sick of that shit.
All those customers were power backers. All those people over there that are not backing books, talking shit in all those chats were guys that would back at least, I mean, maybe they weren't dropping like fucking whale numbers, like thousands of dollars, but they were dropping $300 like on a campaign, on the big ones especially. And they would get, like, if you were a smaller creator and your highest campaign, your highest tier was $100, they were getting your $100. They were power backers. These guys backed 400, 500 campaigns. No, this was from 2018 on. 400 to 500 campaigns up until 2022. And now they're gone. And now they're not backing anybody. They're not backing me. They're not backing Doc. They're not backing anybody. You might have guys like, and you don't have to like them or anything, but you might have guys like Wackass, who was a power backer, only backing the Zayd brothers because they're personal friends. That's it. You might see something like that. This is a guy who would go around backing all the campaigns, and now he's only backing his friend.
Okay.
Like, this is what I'm saying. When you have the big guys turking around going, they left when they didn't leave.
Yeah.
That's getting kicked out. That's being told that they're no longer here. It's a play on words. Anybody who's watched these guys for 8 years know how they talk.
Okay.
It's wordplay. It's a way of saying something you want to say without actually saying it.
And what do they say?
Oh, they left. They betrayed. They betrayed the community. They didn't leave. They didn't go anywhere except for their channels. Why? Because they didn't go on EVS's show anymore. That means they left. Like someone like Mindy, out and outright said, "I'm no longer Comicsgate." She left. Okay. Someone like Reinie never said that. But Reinie's smart enough to know that once the label was put on her that she left, there was no fighting it. You just roll with it. You don't try to argue with it. You don't try to go to war because you're not going to win.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Nobody's tried it. So how do
yes,
you
they have. Yes, they have.
You fight for it no matter what. You don't walk away with your tail between your legs.
That's not what happened, Katie.
And let people just go on. You fight for your place.
But here's the thing: when you're a big creator like that, and these splits happen, the community splits every single time.
The creators who felt like they got left because they weren't because Ethan wouldn't allow them on their show, so that makes them feel like they were canceled.
Nobody's saying canceled. Nobody's saying canceled.
They stand up
nobody's saying canceled.
And say, when I think Ethan or whoever's saying what is false, and you stand up for yourself. You don't sit there with your tail between your legs. I'm sorry, DG. I'm not backing down from that. They should have fought for it. I've had to fight to be here.
What did they have to?
Why can't they fucking fight to be here?
What did they have? What did they have to fight for? They have their audience. They have their supporters and backers. The ones who knew that they did nothing wrong are still backing them. Or they're gonna fight for what? They're gonna fight Ethan, John, and Shane on the fact that they're Comicsgate or not.
For their right and say, tell the people that used to back them and walk away. Look. They just need to stand up for themselves.
What do people say? They say the audience is going to tell you who's Comicsgate and who's not, right? Well, the main audience has already said that they're not. And there's no fighting that, Katie. No matter how hard you want to try, there's no fighting that. The minute the main audience, mainline Comicsgate, turns on you, you're done.
Yeah, you got it from me. I love to go to sex dungeons and get mad about it when people tease me about it.
The whole thing about the Dungeoneers, I'm just like, You do realize how fucking retarded it is that you didn't run with that? That could be a fucking show. That could be a weekly show where you joke about the Dungeoneers. The thing to do with the internet when stuff like that happens is it's a hit. People are laughing about that. Make it a fucking show. Make your show the Dungeoneers. And it's like, yeah, we did this degenerate thing and we had a fucking great time doing it. Ha ha, mofo.
What many who were CG at the time would come to realize is that when it came to those jokes, there was malicious intent behind them. Anna, that Star Wars girl, was vocal about the Tampa creators adopting the Dungeoneers name and making light of it. But in the fall of 2025, Anna had uploaded a parody video she did on her Instagram in which she appeared to be spicing it up a bit.
Now, I've never done this before, but I am going to try to write my own icing lettering. And it is a lot harder than it looks, but for a first timer, I think I did pretty good. My sweet girl didn't complain. In fact, she was mesmerized by them.
She had also recently given birth to her first child. In November of 2025, EVS and Shane Davis played the video on a live stream and, well, made some jokes.
People go, oh, look at Anna, like that Star Wars mom. Like, you know, look how dried up she looks. You know, her titties are hanging down lower than usual. And I go, what are you talking about? She is lovely. What a beautiful girl. And you guys
You're
are
unaware of what Anna's up to now, I think.
Oh, what is Anna up to?
I'll have to pull it up, but she's venturing into dangerously close, in my opinion. She's getting dangerously close to the being naked soon.
Okay.
I'm going to pause it just.
Oh, I did see this.
Channeling Nara Smith for this video. So
Oh
here's
my
my fancy dress. I will.
Look.
Oh, I did see this. I was like, whoa, girl.
They're saying OnlyFans incoming.
Yep.
It might. I don't know.
She's not even making good cupcakes, like, or whatever it is she's making. She's showing those cupcakes. She's like, look at these cupcakes I'm making. But it's like she's just showing her tits.
These jokes made by these men went back to Anna, who would fire up her own live stream, in which she appeared audibly and visibly upset.
Don't cry. I've been crying pretty much the past 24 hours. I cried after Jack's show. I cried yesterday after all the news happens. And then I thought was good. I thought I got it all out of my system. And then I was trying to catch up on what happened with Trashcast, and I got to a certain point and I just had to stop it because I was like, oh my God, okay. Tell me how my supposed friends really feel about me. Apparently everything is my fault. And then getting called a whore by my friends, or basically getting called a whore for a parody video that neither of them really knew much about, even though I explained it in the video. Like, it was all over Twitter for days, and my birthday was coming up, which is Halloween, and I did a parody of it where I made like cupcakes, and they were supposed to be shitty. It was supposed to be a parody, and for that, because my friends didn't listen to the beginning of the video and they don't know who Nara Smith is, even though she's extremely famous. I mean, look, like go at 4.8 million followers. Because of that, I'm basically a whore, and I'm going to be OnlyFans, and I'm the reason that the Jack show broke up. I really appreciate hearing that from my friends.
I mean, I just got back from Anna's live stream, in which I did tell her that you were gay. In the chat, she did not respond to it. I said, Shane is gay. And I said Shane Davis is gay.
Yeah.
And she did not read that. She didn't read that chat. She did not respond to that. But she's very upset right now. She feels like all of her friends are fake. And she feels like, you know, Jon Malin was her friend, but she's very sorry she hurt him. And she thought that they were friends, but obviously she hurt Jon Malin, who was her friend. And she's crying, like literally crying, like weeping, you know, in the chat. And then she said, I'm sorry that I was a whore. My friends think I'm a whore for making that cupcake video. And I tried to tell her, and she would not read my chats. I said, no, we're just trying to get you naked. And she didn't read that. She didn't see that I said that. Like, it's not that you're a whore. It's
I
that,
said
like,
she was at the Event Horizon. She messaged me and I messaged her back. And I was like, I said you're at the Event Horizon. I don't even know if she knows what Event Horizon means. It's weird. That's a running joke on Jack's show where they're talking about we're trying to get her more naked for each calendar. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure that joke has been ran before. That wasn't a new joke.
It wasn't lost on many former CGers that Anna became the very thing the Dungeoneers were the target of: malicious jokes and the doubling down of men who told them.
I already told the girls I can't do queens anymore. I was watching that live stream of Ethan and Shane basically imply that I'm going to be a whore. And I messaged them and I said, I don't think I can do this anymore. I like Mandy and I like Yanzi, but by the way, both Shane and Ethan have both apologized to me, and I told them I get it. You guys were just joking, and it was like, if it was any other day, I wouldn't have reacted the way that I reacted, but it wasn't any other day. It wasn't any other situation, and I'm not mad at either of them. Like, I know that it was just a joke, and usually it was a joke that I could take, but yeah, I don't know if I can do any other other scheduled streams anymore. I don't want to do something that my heart's not in, and I'm just upset. And I watched I was watching Ballers and I heard, everybody basically say that they're on Jon's side, and I didn't know that there was sides to this, so like, okay, it's like, all right, then, I don't feel like I need to donate my time to do streams. So
for those who have seen how Jon Malin treated Irene Strakowski, they'd be looking at familiar territory with what was to come for Anna, even with a cackling Mandy Summers, Anna's former co-host of the short-lived CG Queen show, joining in on the dog pile.
In the hard art room, rule isn't directed at you. It's just women in general. It's really more so for Anna because, she's a chick, allegedly. So, allegedly. But I'm gonna punish all women because of Anna.
Yeah,
that's what I do. That's my vengeance.
Fair enough.
Mandy is just saying, I'm starting to feel a little bit of distance because of hard art. And I want to let you guys know, without seeming like a girl, because I'm one of the guys, so I'm going to call you guys girls, that my feelings are a little bit hurt, and I want you to see me again.
Not at all.
And this is exactly what you're saying. I want you to see me again, guys. I want you to, and I don't want to be excluded. I don't want to be the next Anna, that Star Wars girl. Like, I don't.
John, is there something that Mandy could do to catch her eye again? Like maybe get her hair
roll a penis.
That's not what I was saying at all.
Coat of paint around here? Like, what are we talking about?
It's a common occurrence in Comicsgate to belittle anyone who is put off by the malice as someone who can't take jokes. The group is full of these tough guys, but when it was their turn to be joked on, well, they usually resort to threats of violence.
You keep running your mouth and talking your fucking shit. But where the fuck do you live, bro? Like, let's just have a conversation. We can just fucking talk, man.
The Dungeoneer Files. This is what is all this? What are we talking about? What is it?
Aside from just a malicious labeling of the Dungeoneers over a place they never attended, there was still one more bomb to come, which wasn't really a bomb if not for the fact that Jon Malin, Shane Davis, and Ethan van Sciver, along with others in their elite group, sensationalized its contents. It was the Riot Press DM release, containing the conversation among those in the DM room.
Dungeoneers. There was a convention. It was in Tampa Bay in 2023. A group of comic skaters went to a dance club, I believe, called the Castle. The Castle has a little bit of like S&M.
Malin continued pushing the lie about the Castle being a BDSM club, that it was a gay sex club, none of which was true.
Called the Dungeon. when these comic skaters went to this club. There were people that were nudists in the club. There were dirty, stinking, nude hippies walking around this club. At least one had a butt plug hanging out of his asshole. Another had it may have been the same guy, had a sheath over his penis, like to elongate it, something like almost something like you would see in, what was that movie, Seven? You remember the guy had the big old strap-on deal? It was monstrous. Anyways, a lot of people thought that, this is weird. This is weird that a bunch of comic skaters going to this fucking, which is known, this place, the castle, is known among the locals as being a gay sex club. Because Party Time Patrick sounds cool. Hey, you're Party Time Patrick. And in this case, I guess it got under his skin. Along with the term Dungeoneers, or all the comic skaters that went to this alleged gay sex dance club were kind of called the Dungeoneers. Another term.
80 people watching. Hello.
And so that's that. That's what a Dungeoneer is. It's a group of comic skaters went to a sex club, had a great time, took video of it, photos of it, whoop whoop.
Malin continuing to push the lie that these creators went to a gay sex club shows this was well past the point of jokes. He not fully believed it, because as some have noted, he was at war with PTP, and all of this without Cecil, the actual person who encouraged the people to go, never being given the label or mixed in with the jokes.
The comic creators that went, they weren't ashamed of what they did, and not they weren't expressing any shame. They were showing pictures and video. And, look at this guy with a cock sheath on. Like, right? LOL. Whenever we would talk about Tampa, I would talk about the Dungeoneers. So, I still think it's funny. I think it's funny. And that's that. But because I laughed at them, see, I wasn't supposed to laugh. What I'm supposed to do is say, slay. Slay, motherfuckers. You guys out there having a good old fucking time. Yeah, put some butt plugs in your butthole. Come on, now everyone's having a good old time. That's what I was supposed to say. Yeah, everyone's having a good old fucking time. The dungeon, and it shows you the dungeon part. Oh, and at the dungeon, I believe it's at the dungeon part. So the Dungeoneers had said this too. There was a whipping station.
As proven, the floor known as the dungeon was closed that weekend. This is Jon Malin lying again.
Jon Malin received 500 pages of private DM group chats from Twitter, where they're all just talking shit about the upper echelon of Comicsgate creators. And he won't show the screenshots because they reveal who the mole is.
At the time of the stream, not many had seen the DM files, which ultimately got passed around. But Sheila makes the claim that the DM room was full of people shit-talking the promoters of Ethan's CG. As Darkgift pointed out, it was only about 3 who voiced their opinions, and the rest were just sharing links and promoting their books and having general conversations.
They want people to come on, but only those that will not talk poorly about the show. So it's almost like having a gag order, which I thought, again, was really fucking creepy, man. Like, can you imagine that? Someone inviting you out to, not even invite, it's not their show. It's not their show to do. They have no power there. All they're saying is, hey guys, there's a show. In this case, it was Tampa. Hey, there's a show in Tampa. Wouldn't it be cool if everyone went out there? Okay, all right, cool, I guess. Whole group of Comicsgate creators went out there and fans. I don't know, 60 to 70 fans seems to be about the head count that I get from here. So these guys go out there, but then everyone, we had a good time, and everyone leaves. But people mention, well, there weren't a whole lot of comic books there. And that was Yellow Flash.
Malin has done this in his many live streams where he paints the portrait that the con seemed to be a bust. But when you see the exchange in the DM rooms, Ethan van Sciver asks, all the pics and videos I've seen are making the show look like a washout. Not a lot of traffic. Are you guys making money? Yellow Flash says, the con itself sucks, and the dealers that have them are all low-grade Spider-Man or modern comics. The con is dominated by Pokemon cards, Funko Pops, fake weapons, and anime prints. The only good part is the Comicsgate corner. Camel Moon followed by saying, it's true, I did a walk around. The most interesting booth was 100% the CG section. Otherwise, it was more of a tchotchke show. Phil Diaz would say, "We have been doing great. Graham sold out of all his comics, and we got a couple sales from non-CG people and a bunch from CGers." An observation to make here is that Ethan was still in this DM room, actively engaged with the participants in it. There was no issue with EVS being in the room despite alleged allegations of backstabbing and shit-talking. This was July of 2023.
I remember in the chat at one point, I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. You know, everyone, I just want a bunch of people to get along. Everyone here seems good to me. And there were 2 times in the Tampa, the Riot Press Champagne Room where Ethan left. He was never kicked out. He left twice of his own volition when he get in an argument with someone. It was weird. And one of those times, like, you'll be able to find the DMs. I was like, hey, everyone here has been good to me. I don't know what's going on. Let's just try and make this right. But it became very clear that that wasn't going to happen.
Talking for him anymore, but it was very much by most people's description to be like a flea market. There were soap dispensers there, people making handmade soap, and not a lot of comics. And even from the people that went, and Dungeoneers included, they said that mainly the comic presence was them, being Patrick's table, and Patrick had invited a bunch of these CG creators to sit in there. Mandy and Shane opted to get their own booths and, like adults, and just pay for their own booths instead of, kind of hopping onto somebody else's thing.
This is very ironic coming from Malin, who joined Shane Davis in subletting a table at C2E2 2024. And it was alleged this was the reason Malin, Shane, and EVS were kicked out of the vendor spot at C2E2 in 2024, despite Malin claiming he was removed because he was a conservative, which he wasn't, and he wasn't, as I showed in my CG documentary when the culture war hit those pretty pictures. Then came the moment where things changed for the Dungeoneers forever. The reading of the names that were alleged to have taken part in shit-talking Ethan and his CG elite.
Phil Diaz.
Who cares about any of it?
Kelsey Shannon, Camel, Chad Townsend, Narwhal. Narwhal was the one. Narwhal did participate. Let me see, is that it? Patera, Ghost House, Patriot Prime Reviews. I don't even know who that is. So, yeah, there are a bunch of people there that I don't know. They must be Pat.
I get we're supposed to be mad at these people. I'm not going to get mad at a list of names with nobody telling me why I got to be mad at them. Sorry.
What about Chad Townsend? Did anybody notice anything from Chad Townsend? Because I think I did.
Yeah, it seemed I saw a couple of things because his name would pop up. I didn't again read it all, but it seemed like he was kind of.
I have no idea, Albany.
I mean, that's part of the thing. Is like, are you talking about people directly saying something, or are you talking about they're in agreement?
I missed you guys too. I love Comicscape.
Why does Mandy generate so much hate? Well, Mandy had a little career before this where it was kind of like OnlyFans a little bit. Everybody exposed her for that.
Who cares?
Right. And people use that against her to insinuate that she's a swami and she's got control over somebody like Dale Keown, which people are jealous of.
Here's where Ethan claimed that people in CG were mad about Mandy Summers doing OnlyFans and that she had control over Dale Keown. The truth, as we showed in the documentary, the story of the failed pit omnibus was far more seedier than EVS let on here. As Dark Gift stated, the entire DM room was a nothing burger. The reading of the DM files continued on a few more live streams. Ethan names Jay Bomafan as one of the whistleblowers of the critiques by those among the Dungeoneers.
Here we go. Sure. Patrick Thomas Parnell.
Guilty.
Matt Yackey at one point said, boy, I'm glad I'm an IRS agent and, not participating in all this.
Oh,
is
innocent.
That right? Yeah, more or less innocent. Irene Strakowski, Irene Strakowski's role in this was to say, guys, let's just please be the bigger people. When hearing about, how much everybody hates us. So you decide what that is. That's about it. Andy Smith, innocent. Eric July, offering people jobs in there as they run us down. You see the Splintering, innocent. Billy Tucci, innocent. Michael Bancroft, not only innocent, reached out to us because he knew he was in that room and said, listen, I got roped in. This isn't how I feel. Eric Huffles, innocent. Biggins, R.T. Bear, innocent.
Dan Fraga, innocent. Whitney Parnell, Vaughn Coleman, Graham Nolan, innocent. Nicholas Gear, I don't know who he is. David Williams, innocent. Phil Diaz, innocent. Did I ever see Phil say anything?
I didn't see anything bad from Phil.
I haven't read the whole thing again.
Kelsey Shannon, among the worst. Camel Moon, Chad Townsend, Cato Collection Reviews. I don't know who that is. Well-read user, always guilty, no matter what. No, he was innocent. Narwhal, Joe Ball. I think he had a couple of comments, mostly innocent. Nick Patera, innocent. Sat there and talked about his work. Ghost House, I don't know who that is. Laser Pants, I don't know who that is. Dan Fraga didn't say a fucking word in there. He didn't open his mouth, which I didn't notice anything from Dan Fraga. I was grateful for that, too.
Ethan names J Bomber Fan as one of the whistleblowers of the critiques by those among the Dungeoneers.
This is all going on, and everybody's mad at us, and we don't know what's happening until some whistleblowers step forward. First of all, there's J Bomber Fan. J Bomber Fan said, these guys have been trying to force me. Their wives made friends with my wife, and now they're peer pressuring me to sell out my friendship with Jon Malin and Shane Davis, telling me to denounce them and join the party because our wives are friends and we can share drinks together and have dinner. And he gave up all of the stuff. This is what we're going over last night. He gave up all of these tweets, not tweets, private messages, DMs of these two guys peer pressuring him in the most homosexual method. People who saw it were disgusted. It was disgusting. I had to reveal that last night. I felt like it was my duty. Also, people within Party Time Patrick's private room, in which all of this paranoia, this echo chamber had been developing, they sold them out too. And they printed out, they actually scanned the entire room from July until current day, which they just closed it down, and turned it over to me. I've read it now. I know everything that was being said in that room. Everything. All of these people. I watched the paranoia develop. It is the most insane thing in the entire world. I could illustrate it and make a best-selling fucking illustrated graphic novel of the insanity that was going on in that room. I have it. I offered it to Jon Malin.
Did you notice I was in there in the beginning and saying, you guys going to take that from him? You guys gonna
I've not seen the full documents yet, but I will.
They're in there. You need to download them before that link expires.
It's usually me, Cecil, now Shane. Like, we show up, and then everyone else is always just kind of, Then when I see this list,
a lot of people pulled in by this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's a
John, you're gonna be so pissed when you read this.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
Look, it's all right. I suspected most of these people. I suspected them.
Oh no.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Like that much hatred and like almost zero from this side, unless you're going to consider the term Dungeoneer and Party Time Patrick as like, shit that's really fucking some big, huge fucking slight.
The reading of the names in the DM room, going over what was said without giving too much detail away, came across as what one would call reading off an enemies list, done for the purpose of retaliatory actions, including turning the chat against these creators, blacklisting them from various Comicscape live streams, and hurting them financially. Malin lies by omission here. He conveniently leaves out all the times he smeared the Dungeoneers by claiming they went to a BDSM or gay sex club, neither of which was true. The constant pushing of this lie, among others, did more damage to the creators in question. Anna, that Star Wars girl, would later find out, the intent behind any jokes by Malin, Ethan, or Shane is pretty malicious. Looking at the DMs, there's an observation to be made here. Going into August of 2023, it seemed Ethan was pushing the narrative that the Comicsgaters didn't do well at the con, despite Phil Diaz, Graham Nolan, and even Michael Bancroft saying otherwise. Ethan's last exchange in the DM room was when he argued with Matthew Fowler when news started coming out that Mandy Summers was blackmailing creators like Dale Keown. This was covered in my Pit Omnibus documentary. This conversation is what caused Ethan to leave the room for good. After Ethan left, the chatter started growing about EVS, Malin, and the rest targeting the Dungeoneers, including Reinie. Chad Townsend even started reporting that he was issuing refunds after Jon Malin started tagging him on Twitter. This is what gets left out when the CG elite talks about any shit talking in the DMs. It was all in response to the Tampa creators associated with PTP being targeted for ruination.
I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to, but I said to her, honey, you got to get home. I know she's still got some more games to play, but I need you to get on the road. I need you to hit the Jersey Turnpike, and I need you to get home as quickly as you can because they talking shit, baby. I said, they talking shit. And she said, who? And I said, who do you think? And she said, PT Parasite. I said, that is correct.
With the DM files dropping, Ethan van Sciver dialed up his fight against PTP by a few notches. In Trash Cash 121 from January 2024, Ethan went over his time in the DM room, his DMs with PTP and Mr. Biggins. He once again names J Bomafan as one of the moles.
You're going to see this from my point of view, with the extra added benefit of J Bomafan, who whistle blew these guys. That doesn't sound good. He's a whistleblower. He actually showed some stuff that I wouldn't have seen ever. I wouldn't have understood that these people were doing this as well in private. But you're going to see mostly my perspective, and my perspective is someone who's going, what the fuck are you guys talking about? What are you doing? We have a conflict within Comicsgate that happened that seems to have happened because certain individuals, Patrick Thomas Parnell and Mr. Biggins, organized a convention. Now, I've been trying to do a convention for a while. I want to do for the Fansfest with Comicscape, but I'm very busy. My books are late, and I really need to focus on my drawing, and people really want this convention. I can't do it right now. I'm way too busy. I'm overwhelmed. So I have said, you guys, if you can organize the convention and take one fucking thing off my shoulders, I'm not angry. I'd really appreciate it. So what happened was Patrick and Biggins, if you don't know who he is, he's a very wealthy art collector and fan who was a comic skater, who lifts weights and stuff. He looks like Thor. He has Mrs. Biggins, who takes pictures of herself. She's a fitness model holding comics, but you never see her face, just her body. Those are the Biggins. And they have very, very firm ideas about what Comicsgate is, what it should be, what it stands for. They're the kinds of people who say Comicsgate's a consumer movement. Let's not forget that. I don't even know what that means anymore.
This was proof here that CG under Ethan van Sciver had moved away from its original mission. To put things in context, Ethan had already declared his one-sided war on Eric July. Yellow Flash was on the outs with CG. Ethan began a series of Trashcast streams in response to Yellow Flash making public the $4,000 cover rate EVS quoted him for the Mighty Golden Patriot. Yellow Flash was already disenfranchised with Ethan having declared war on the Friday Night Tights crew, many of whom were friendly with Yellow Flash.
Tampa Bay Comic Con was weird because everybody had a great time, it seems, but also at the same time, there were a few things that people didn't like. People who stayed home. People who went to Tampa, some of them were invited to go to a place called The Castle, which was a sex club. Not just a sex club, not like a strip club, but a bondage and discipline nightclub. And, comic skaters, young comic skaters were there live streaming themselves in this sex club. And it was, optically, a few of us didn't like it. I didn't like it very much, but I don't care.
Ethan was now full on board promoting the lie of the castle being a sex club full of bondage. Mind you, in DMs with members of the Riot Press DM room, he acknowledged the castle as simply being a goth club, which was also not accurate, but far less inflammatory. Ethan was fully committed to pushing the lie of the castle being a sex dungeon.
It is Patrick Thomas Parnell, who he's the guy who took everybody to the sex club.
The leader of the pack, the one who took everyone there, doesn't think anybody can joke about it. On top of that, he thinks he should be the leader of Comicsgate, which is a real problem. It has nothing to do with the sex dungeon, I don't think.
I saw everybody sitting around the hotel lobby drinking, and I said,
being miserable.
We're going out, motherfuckers. We ain't staying here.
It was also told to me that some people who went to the club with them felt like they were misled about the club's content. As Allie pointed out, she thought it would be some kind of 80s goth club, but instead, in her own words, it was lame. EVS brings on Shane and Mandy, and they go over the exchange with Biggins about the Tampa Con not being worth the return trip for CG. The exchange about setting up for the Fansfest corroborates PTP's account. Ethan then proceeded to show the DMs between himself and PTP right after Ethan's rage quitting the DM room, when Matthew Fowler took Ethan to task for what would reveal to be Mandy allegedly sabotaging Phil Diaz's gig for the Pit omnibus. He also shared the DM exchanges between himself and Mr. Biggins. EVS continued over the course of a few more streams, making DMs public about his interaction with and about PTP. The resentment over PTP stemmed further back before Tampa. The drama over the Pit omnibus began to slowly seep out from behind the scenes.
There's Whitney. I liked Whitney right until she, her and Patrick kicked me out of their private room and then gave me the peace out symbol and the smiley face. And they were laughing at me.
They did that too?
Yeah, that's what they did when that whole downfall thing was going on.
I don't remember any. Well, I was busy at camp.
Yeah. Well, because Patrick thought that I somehow was putting little demons in Dale Keown's ear to get him to back out of his deal in the final hours of the campaign. So he blamed me for Dale blowing the campaign up hours before the launch. So in retaliation for what, in his mind, that I did, he kicked me out of his private room. And I was sent screenshots from other people because I have eyes everywhere. And they sent me screenshots of him and Whitney laughing at me after they booted me.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Look, don't get me wrong, I'm on okay terms with Patrick. But I don't like how quickly I was thrown under the bus.
I don't know who whispered in Dale's ear.
Yeah,
but that's the word on the street. It was someone under account that was supposedly led by a guy named Midnight Cherry, but I don't know.
Ethan and Malin tried, without proof, to pin Dale Keown's backing out of the Pit Omnibus project on a random Twitter poster. Sounds ridiculous, yes. And while I covered the Pit debacle in my Pit documentary, some of this needs to be revisited for the sake of context. Dan Fraga, who had been in Comicsgate since 2019, had come out to bat for PTP, Ali Sanguis, and the other Dungeoneers.
You know what I'll say it though? Fraga was one of the people that was the realist with me at a bar. He was like, the way they treated you, I don't fuck with that at all. And he didn't make a whole drama thing about it, but he pulled me aside of Heroes that year. He's like, that was bullshit. He's like, but he's like, keep being you, keep putting your books out, keep doing your thing.
We don't do what? What did I do? What?
The whole Dungeoneers thing.
Wait, what does that have to do with Dale?
Taking it.
Wait, stick with Dale. What did I do? What is your point about what I did with Dale and PTP? What is it?
No, you understand what I'm saying, John.
No, I don't.
I'm saying, yes.
Lay this out. Lay it out like I have no clue, Dan. Lay it out like
you have no clue. Okay, yeah. June 23rd. June of 23. Right? He's gonna go put out his campaign for Dale, and he reaches out for Dale and does good by Dale, and somebody whispers in Dale's ear the night before.
Yeah,
so what's Pat supposed to think?
What happened with the Dale Keown thing that was so out of pocket for me to do with the campaign? What was this?
I'll get to that when I'm finished, John.
No, that's where we started. That's
great.
Started.
That's great. I'm driving the car. Okay.
What the hell?
If you have an issue with that, so
no, you have the issue with it. I'm asking you to clarify what it is.
And I will. I'll get to that. I'll get to that.
Okay.
You're a fucking bully, John. That's the issue.
Well, how did I bully Dale Keown or Patrick
in
that
situation? You bullied the hell out of Patrick.
How did I bully? Hold on. You brought up the Dale Keown thing. So let's start there. How did I bully Patrick?
Because he thought that somebody in his own circle that had keys to Dale told him lies and set him off. And nobody told Pat, hey, it's this fucking asshole who did this. You let Pat go off the reservation thinking that somebody in here did it.
I didn't let anybody think anything.
And then you made fucking content for days on a guy that was spinning out. So you can
wait.
kick
Who
a
was
dog,
the guy spinning out?
make a-
Patrick?
Pat, yes. Pat did spin out. All that backroom shit, yes, it's real.
What
Absolutely.
backroom
all,
shit?
All the shit that
the
he
Dungeoneer
was,
backroom shit was months later. What was
no,
the
that
Dale
all
thing?
the backroom stuff that Pat got caught saying, he absolutely said that stuff. Absolutely.
We know.
But he said that as an angry person. You know, you kick, like I said, you kick a dog and then
How did I
film the
kick
dog
him?
being angry and then tell people he's a bad dog.
How did I kick him? What was the first
You're
kick?
being literal? You're being literal?
No, I'm saying, what was it that I did to Dale Keown to kick Patrick?
You didn't do anything to Dale Keown. I said that was the impetus of it, John. And all you had to do is clear the air and say, hey, I didn't do it. But instead,
I don't have to do anything for anybody.
That's right.
Nothing.
You just
I don't
need
have to do anything
things
for anybody.
yourself,
If Patrick has a
John.
little fucking conniption fit, that's on fucking Patrick.
Why would he have a
plenty of
conniption
good
fit,
by
though?
Patrick. And it's not on me to start leaking my private conversations with Dale Keown to make Patrick feel better about himself.
The Pit Omnibus debacle had made public a lot of the crooked shenanigans that took place behind the scenes that would ultimately tear up Comicscape for good. This was all covered in my Pit documentary. We're now going to take a look at a few of the Dungeoneers and their individual paths, and why they were targeted by Jon Malin, Shane Davis, and Ethan van Sciver.
A queen! It was a queen! What the fuck is that?
Really? Really? That's what you're bringing?
There are a few incidences of note tied to Ali Sanguis that are considered inappropriate, rude, and outright malicious, before and after Tampa Bay 2023. Ali recounts her appearance on Pitman Comic number 5 on Mandy Summers' channel, in an incident where Ali's promos were interrupted by fart sounds.
Well, it wasn't really that big a deal, honestly. Like, I went on there because I was crowdfunding my book, and people, like the chat and everyone says, you know, oh, when you're crowdfunding a comic book, here's a list of all the shows that you ask to go on. And I said, okay, I don't really watch any of these people and stuff, but the chat wants me to go, so I'll go. And I've got that in there too. Because I asked Mandy if I could go on the show. I don't think I've really spoken to Shane very much at all.
Well, here's some of the interior art.
Oh, wow.
See, not that shocking anymore now that we've seen a turtle with a dildo stuck to it.
I guess. But I won't be putting that in my book. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
I don't think it would fit.
I hate women
with
that
this
do
topic.
that. I hate women that do that.
Oh, Shane, you hate all women.
No,
Why?
they do.
Why
They
are
do.
you gonna?
Sorry, not sorry. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean?
I'm saying it ironically, it's fine. No, so all
That's
of,
like, hang on, Allie. Let me try this on for size. I'm hungry, not hungry. What does that mean?
it just means you're hungry.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. It cancels each other out.
Okay.
But I asked her and we set it up and I went on their show and they said, okay, Ali, you're last. And I think there were 2 or 3 people ahead of me to talk about their books. And I said, okay. And I sat for like 3 hours, I think, listening to all of it and kind of playing along and stuff. Maybe I should have researched how their stuff went usually, but I didn't.
So this little piggy, right?
That's the noise I would expect that one to make.
Along with the fart sounds, Shane appeared to be very hostile and rude towards her.
Do you know why they do a baker's dozen?
Why? Who does a big?
Why is there 13?
Like bakers, or why?
Yes, bakers. Oh. Yes. No, dogs in the street. Why is there 13 dogs in the street? No, bakers. Why is there 13?
I also have.
Have you ever had sex with a guy and screamed out, "Beat my eggs"?
I also am looking at a cool new thing to do for a cover, but
when it came to be my turn to sell my book, it was what I perceived as kind of rude, random fart noises that he hadn't done for any of the other people who were shilling their book. But like, I played along and went on, and it didn't really bother me. It wasn't something I thought about too much. I ended it, and that was the story. It was months and months later, after all the craziness, after Tampa Bay Comic Con, where I made a joke about it just offhand, and people latched onto it, saying that I was freaking out, but I didn't really care. And then there was a whole thing where people were saying, oh, Allie doesn't feel grateful to what they did. And I 100% do feel grateful for everyone who helped me out and let me on their show and supported my book. But the thing is, I don't really owe them anything. They kind of got an attitude where they said, oh, she owes us her success or whatever. I don't really owe them anything, because the truth is the amount that I made from being on their show didn't even cover the Indiegogo fees. And I'm grateful to every single backer. But what I don't appreciate is when people lie about me and then also try and say I owe them for what I did, especially when they were rude to me. And I don't really care. There was also a whole thing where they're like, oh, Allie is goth and that's like for babies or whatever. And it's a phase. And I made that joke because it's a self-deprecating joke. I get it. But women aren't funny on purpose.
The incident would be revisited after Tampa Bay 2023. Allie was among the group who went to the castle, along with Irene Shrakowski, who consider each other friends. But what brought notoriety was not so much her being among the Dungeoneers as much as allegations thrown out there by Mandy Summers that Allie damaged her books with water at her Tampa booth.
Was it Allie that spilt the water on Mandy's table?
Yeah, on the books, yeah.
I went over when there was nobody at Mandy's booth to say hello. I didn't know her very well. I'd only been on her show once, and I don't think we'd been on anything else together other than that one show that I think was maybe 3 hours long. But I thought, she's there, I'll say hello, because it's a courteous, professional thing to do. It was literally just her and some guy sitting like in the back. The whole interaction took not even a minute. It was really fast because it seemed like she was trying to go somewhere. And I was just like, hey, how's it going? Nice to see you here. And she says, hey, this is my husband. And she points at the guy that was sitting all the way in the back. And I didn't even know, this is how little I knew about these people. I didn't even know she was married. So I'm just like, oh, hey. And I wave, and he didn't get up, which at the time I thought was weird, but I was like, whatever. Maybe he just doesn't want to meet people. That's how it goes. And then said, nice to see you. Bye. And that was literally it. I walked away from it thinking that it was a positive interaction. I felt really good about it. I even told people that I thought she was better looking in person. And that was it. That was my whole entire interaction with her.
So they would send this tweet, and if I want you to, Elasma, go to find every instance of that water bottle story being told, and you'll notice the story doesn't line up. Now I'm going to tell you, I worked PTP's booth the entire time. I never once saw that water bottle thing happen. No one talked about it. It never. Allie did not spill water on Mandy's books. That didn't happen. Mandy is lying. That is complete bullshit.
Prior to the water bottle allegations, when Mandy gave account of her time at the con, she made no mention of Allie ever spilling water on her books.
I think it was in some chats. I'm not exactly 100% sure who was the first person to mention it, but somebody in the chat just asked, Allie, why'd you ruin her books? And I was like, the hell are you talking about? I didn't ruin anybody's books. And then it kind of spiraled out. 2 or 3 more people asked me. And so I thought, okay, this is not the kind of thing that, you know, people who don't want drama do. So I'll ask her. So I went into DMs and I asked her very kindly why she was telling people that. And she said, oh, remember, I mean, you've got them. She said, oh, remember when this happened? And I said, no, I don't remember things that don't happen. And it kind of felt like I was being gaslit. Like she was trying to say, oh, remember when it was a couple drops and it wasn't a big deal, blah, blah, blah. It kind of felt like she was trying to make me believe something happened, but nothing happened.
Mandy appeared to push hard on Allie, somehow damaging her Tampa edition books, but Allie caught her on a lie with one detail.
Oh, she centered on the fact that I was wearing gloves. I was wearing these black leather gloves that I've worn on streams and stuff before, because I had just gotten out of 6 months in the hospital for pneumonia, and I was going through physical therapy from my surgery, and I was trying not to get sick. I get sick really easily, and it was a convention, and I was like, I'm probably gonna get sick, but I'm gonna try. So my attempt to do that was to wear these gloves, and that's why I was wearing the gloves.
Mandy took her war against Allie to Twitter, quote-tweeting her any chance she had. People in the community had noted Allie was friends with Reinie, and there was a growing hunch her friendship with Reinie was making Allie the target. There were comicsgaters like Pete Callan, who often streamed with Mandy Summers' artist Peter Gilmore, who took the lie of the water bottle incident one step further and claimed Reinie and PTP had a giggle about it. I asked PTP if this was true, and he said, 100% not true. I didn't even know that she spilled water on her books till just now. I'm pretty sure Reinie didn't either. We were too busy to even watch her empty booth. It should be noted that Callan is notorious for posting defamatory and slanderous posts on X, including one on the day of Charlie Kirk's murder, where he says, these are the types of people celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder BTW. He inserted a picture of Sylvia Saska, one of the writers of The Ripper vs. Ybor, to insinuate that she was personally celebrating Kirk's murder, despite absolutely no evidence anywhere of her making any such declarations. The allegations of her damaging Mandy's books came with a price. She started losing subscribers on her YouTube. But Allie squashes the water bottle story once and for all by revealing this detail.
In the versions that I've heard, I am holding a water bottle. The problem with that is I do not drink bottled water. It freaks me out. Even my water bottle is metal. When I drink canned water, it's Liquid Death. Partially because I have a Liquid Death sales sponsorship, but also just because I only like water in metal stuff. I don't like water in plastic. It freaks me out. So when I heard people saying, oh, you came over and you spilled a bottle of water on her books, I thought it was funny, because I was like, anyone who knows me knows I wouldn't be caught dead with a bottle of water.
Story kept changing from what I've seen, but no, that was made up. And that was another thing. Again, it was like someone had issues with us before the con, or multiple people, and they just wanted to make shit up, and they poisoned what could have been a great experience for no reason. But no, Allie is innocent. I stand with Allie.
Unfortunately for Allie, it didn't end there. Jon Malin and Shane Davis would up the ante with some rather strategically malicious jokes about her looking like a fat Cinnabite from the movie Hellraiser.
Doesn't Allie look like the fat choke out? Doesn't Allie look like the fat Cinnabite in Hellraiser?
Dude! The joke was so malicious that Dan Fraga, who had gone silent prior to this for medical reasons, spoke out against it publicly, along with how he felt PTP was being treated, and took Malin and Shane to task over it.
No, this is big boy. This is big, no. Don't hide. This is big boy talk. Because
I'm just here for Drain.
Your stream, Reinie, your stream with Allie, even though it was a few weeks ago, it's been heavy on my mind, and the kind of the way it was treated in EFAP really rubbed me the wrong way, like it majorly. I don't like the way he talked about my friends Reinie and Allie. I don't like the way Jon Malin or Shane talked about PTP. I don't like it. Here's the thing: Jon was being a bully, and I'm sorry I wasn't there. Alexander, one of these days I would love to hear what Shane did according to you, Frega. How about this? I'll tell you right now. Straight up, he called my friend a fat Cinnabite.
Yep.
How about that? Straight up.
Yeah, and he's a fucking asshole for doing it. So
straight up.
That's for you, Shane. Fuck you.
How about that?
And you're a liar. You're a fucking liar to boot.
Calm down, Will.
Sorry.
I'm just saying. No, but for real. And it's on record, bro. I've seen it on the stream. And when you're picking on Allie and you're picking on Reinie, and you look like a bunch of fucking douchebags. I'm sorry, you do. And it really made me feel sick to my stomach, because this is not what I signed up for.
After Fraga's initial call out of Malin and Shane, Malin did a livestream EFAP of Fraga's call out and rewatched their EFAP of the Allie and Reinie livestream. But Allie issued a copyright strike on Malin's channel, claiming he was showing her book without permission. But on the insistence of Reinie, she removed the strike. Unfortunately, this resulted in Comicsgate going harder on the Cinnabite jokes.
Normal people don't launch up a stream with two girls doing world building and call them names.
Dan, can I ask you a question on that?
Absolutely.
Directly on that. Why did you omit Ethan from that? Did you ever go back and watch what Ethan said?
No, I was sent the clip of what you... Well then, Ethan, why would you do that? I'm asking you this. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because people who follow PTP into oblivion. Those two one very talented and one hanger-on girl used to have hundreds of people watching them. Now they stream to 15 folks.
Their stream had nothing to do with anything. Their stream had to do with
point. I don't care.
People doing world building. You cared enough to fucking stream them and insult them the whole time. That's how much you care.
It's funny. Yeah, I care, and I'm not about what they're streaming about. I'm saying they could be streaming about the most important thing in the world, but the fact is they lost their audience because they followed a retard off a cliff, just like you're doing.
You know what? But that doesn't justify EFAPing them and making fun of them.
I think it's a good point. I think it's a point that needs to be made. They're streaming to 15 people. That's crazy. Reinie is a mega talented superstar creator who made a terrible choice.
You know what?
She was loved here.
Listen,
she was loved here.
If it costs you your piece, it's too expensive.
What piece? What do you mean, dude?
No, but I'm talking about whoever.
It's a business.
It is a business, but if it costs you your piece, it's too expensive, man.
In order to understand why it was easy to believe that Shane, Malin, and EBS used jokes to legitimately disrespect and demoralize their enemies, here is a time where Ethan, Shane, and Mandy Summers had a sex worker on their stream.
Oh, can you crouch like that, Mandy? Seriously, you cannot.
I can.
I believe. No way. You're like you're a mom. You know, you're like 50. How old are you? 58. You can't do that.
Fuck you.
What?
Wait, 58?
She looks good, doesn't she? Yeah. She looks good for 58. Mandy, did you see Karate Kid 2?
No. Thanks.
Oh, she's gone. She left.
EBS appears to make fun of Mandy and compare her to the sex worker on stream. Now notice how uncomfortable Shane gets with Mandy's departure.
Dude, hang on. Ethan, Mandy's not a gilf.
She isn't?
Come on. No, she isn't. Yeah, come on.
Shane starts to get noticeably uncomfortable when it's his woman, Mandy Summers, who becomes the butt of the jokes. Shane becomes even more rattled after Mandy leaves the stream, leaving some people to question why Shane gave that much of a damn about Mandy.
What is it? Honestly, Ethan, do you come in and do that on purpose, or are you just oblivious to it?
I'm oblivious.
Mandy, I didn't say it.
Shane, I mean, compared to what you say to her, what the fuck?
I know the hypocrisy that's coming off of Shane. Ruiz is replacing Mandy full time as a member of Ballers. So
She's smart, but I'm not smart.
Yeah. I don't think Ruiz is replacing Mandy. But thanks, Ethan.
Ruiz starts next week. Next Friday is her first day as full-time replacement of Mandy Summers on Ballers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not happening.
No, it is. It's going to happen.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not happening.
What, is Mandy going to whip you after this? Like, what are you so afraid of?
No, I'm not. But I mean, it's disrespectful to say she's being replaced on the
Scorpio PO says good decision, Nate. Thank you. So 100% of people are,
calling Allie a fat Cinnabite was jokes, but Ethan making fun of Mandy's age was a step too far for Shane Davis. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see the big picture here.
I swear, I'm really trying to figure out what you're doing, Ethan.
Oh, let me help you. Joking.
Camel Moon was the artist animator for Hail Salad, a Space Skull-styled series of animated segments.
His pullout is horrible.
Try to blur out my nudity with that.
Camel was also producing books, such as Boots and Heels. We'll get back to this in a bit. As stated previously, the animosity aimed at the Dungeoneers goes back before Tampa Bay 2023. It's important to remember that a lot of the key evidence has been scrubbed from the internet. Certain live streams were made private or removed entirely. Therefore, the chain of events we're going to explore will be based on the available evidence I was able to come up with, as well as testimonies from various people which corroborate one another. The resentment by the Comicsgate elite towards Camel Moon stems as far back as 2022.
Camel Moon, go do a reboot. I'm not going to let you back in for 5 minutes. You need to go do a full reboot. You're already froze again.
Hey, look at this guy.
Hey.
Take me to Planet Homo.
On episode 69 of Camel Nights, Jon Malin was on stream with Captain Chokeout and Michael Bancroft. Malin appeared and seemed interactive, engaging in the conversation. But after the 1 hour and 16-minute mark, his energy changed. His visage displayed a sour, sulking look. He started to look away from the stream and down off screen, seemingly disconnected from the rest of the panel. He stayed that way for at least a minute before Camel moved his camera down below the rest of the panelists. He was no longer engaging in the conversation.
Miss France Beauty Pageant sued for selecting contestants based on their appearance. Three women have joined forces with a feminist group to file a legal complaint over discrimination and breach of labor law. Do you know what a beauty contest is? John, you look upset. You haven't said anything in like 30 minutes.
Oh, did I get unmuted?
That like 30 minutes ago.
Oh.
Who's muted?
All right, let me get rid of this.
Yeah, no, this one on the left, definitely. She's a hands down. Hands down. Not even a competition.
John, do you have an opinion? Okay. You said no, John?
Eventually, Malin was kicked by Camel Moon, who felt Malin didn't want to participate.
John?
Middle.
Would you care to elaborate? No. Okay. I think John is a little sleepy tonight. All right.
Where's he gone?
I had to, I have to kick on my face. Not going to participate. It just kind of sucks, but all right.
This stream took place a couple of weeks after Camel Moon's Boots and Heels launch stream on October 14th, 2022. On that day, according to viewers, Malin live-streamed over Campbell's launch party, and it was said to have been deliberate. Camel Moon was one of the few, along with Michael Bancroft, Kelsey Shannon, and the Diaz brothers, who did not attend the Friday night gathering at the castle. It was said Bancroft just wanted to stay in and play poker. On New Year's Eve of 2023, Camel did a closeout for his Hail Salad Blu-ray crowdfunder. Ethan chose to stream over Camel Moon, which would have had the effect of costing him some significant backers. Instead, Camel earned another $4,000 for a total of $29,000 plus. After the DM drops on the Jack Show, Shane allegedly EFAP'd Camel for 2 weeks, dunking on the Blu-ray. Ethan joined in and read Camel's private messages aloud on the stream. This was the beginning of the chat turning on Camel Moon.
But I never understood what Camel Moon did wrong in any of this. That's somebody who I appeared on his live stream every Friday for a year on Camel Nights as a fourth mic. Somebody I know very intimately on the internet. So I don't know what he did to be on the naughty list here, but if anybody knows that, let me know.
Is Camel chatting shit in there?
No, that wasn't Camel. Camel did say something about me, but I don't think he was talking shit. He was just making a statement.
During the infamous Jack Show DM readings, Anna read a comment attributed to Camel Moon, but it was wrong. But for a few people, it planted in the minds that Camel was in some backroom gossip, despite no evidence in the DM room showing he did anything but talk about his works.
Well, I'll say this because I want to add a caveat to that. CG is dead for smaller creators. For the main creators, no, it'll be just fine. And they'll have their life raft and, the 10 of them or whatever it is will be, they'll make their money. It'll become more isolated. And maybe that was the purpose. Maybe it was, you can go look from 2020 to 2021, 22, 23. Numbers decline precipitously every time.
For 2026, when I am this year for 2026, when I'm spearheading this new movement, and the Comicscape movement, I feel like the Comicscape movement is over. Well, Comicscape, isn't. I thought about that for a while. I'm like, is Comicscape still a movement? I think it was a movement in 2018, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
And so because of that, maybe there was we got to cut the fat. We got to say, we're not going to support this because there's only so much pie now.
On episode 1 of Ass Blast, Camel had a panel of Bancroft, Phil Diaz, and Rob Arnold. The phone recording leaks of Ethan van Sciver admitting that Mandy Summers was using sex to climb the CG ladder was dropped. That being a topic of conversation by many in the scene during that time, Diaz took the opportunity to poke fun.
Let's just start the show. Okay, here we go.
Wait, before we start the show, I need to do something here really quick. This is actually Jesus.
Is that Fisher Price?
Wait.
Pretty fucking awesome.
All right, I think we're good now, guys.
Thank you.
I don't. What is it? I don't condone. I don't consent. Bill. I got this book. I found it on my shelf. Oh no.
Well,
I'm gonna
flick you guys cancel each other out, So
this did not sit well with Ethan van Sciver, who, without naming Camel Moon, Phil Diaz, Michael Bancroft, or Rob Arnold, made his thoughts clear on his own stream.
No, there's a real attempt, and I'm not sure where it's coming from exactly, but it grows, and the attempt is to just split Comicsgate apart. And I don't know what people get from it. I'm not sure. I can understand why the SJWs would want it to happen. There are certain war campaign elements that I can understand. They would want to do that for their amusement. Kiwi Farms types would want to do that for fun. But when I see other comic skaters or former comic skaters engaging in it, I just look at them and I go, you're falling into a fucking lava pit if I let go of you. You understand? And I just watched it tonight. I watched 4 individuals make a joke of the recording thing. and I just went. I went like this. And that's the way it is. You know, it's like, okay, goodbye, you know, guys.
At the end of the day, however, it becomes very obvious why Camel was eventually hated by the CG elite.
So that is the Camel Moon, the way I'm going to start doing it. I'm only going to be getting campaigns together when I'm essentially 80 to 90% done with the work. When I do Boots and Heels Phase 2, all I'll have to do at that point will probably be some light lettering. So I want to make sure everything is pretty much ready to go. And with this campaign, everything is ready to go because all of the Hail Salad cartoon was, you know, the culmination of work over 3 years. And then all of the product is stuff that's already been designed. So it just needs to be sent to get produced. So, and I want to start doing that because I think people want to get their stuff sooner. I think it's really just that simple. And I think at this point, you know, putting out more and more campaigns and still not fulfilling, I think is kind of it's you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of deal. So I want to make sure that people can get their stuff in a relatively fashion.
Cecil killed you for not being on Jack's show while having a campaign. Yeah, but I mean, the book doesn't sell on that fucking show. This is what I try to tell him. I didn't want to sell anything on that show. Here, now you got me all riled up. I never wanted to sell anything on the Jack show. I wanted it a place that we can relax and hang out and not worry about work. Then we're starting to sell things on Jack's show. I'm just like, ugh, you know, all right. So then we get in the mood where we're selling stuff. It's a regular thing now. I don't sell a single copy on that show of anything I'm doing. So, I mean, like, okay, you want to try to run that by me about, oh, you got to be on the Jack show to sell your book. I disagree. I've sold way more not being on the fucking Jack show. All right. So don't play that argument with me.
Kelsey Shannon was the K in the Jack show. Longtime viewers and A-loggers of Comicsgate noted the growing tension between Jon Malin and Kelsey prior to the Tampa Bay convention. In a June 13th, 2023 post on the Kiwi Farms, it was noted that Malin was toying with the idea of voting Kelsey off the Jack show due to his apparent lack of participation. This was on a deleted live stream on Cecil's channel.
And he just doesn't do that at all. That's just not who Jon is. But Anna's sitting there saying that Kelsey left because of Jon is fucking incredible. Like, that is just not true. That is propaganda. Comicscape.
I'd say that's not propaganda because, Pan, I don't know if you know or heard, but back when Jon and Kelsey got into it, there was a now deleted hidden Rumble stream where Jon and Kelsey had at it.
The Kelsey Shannon Jon Malin dust-up on an August 2023 stream has become one of legend, the holy grail of lost streams, similar to the giant spider sequence in the 1933 film King Kong.
When I saw, and it just didn't make any sense to me about what happened with Kelsey. Like, he rage quit the Jack show and a bunch of other rooms, but like, I get it. Kelsey's working and doing all this. But whenever he was there, it seemed like he was having fun. And I asked, when he did rage quit, I asked Cecil, I was like, is there some kind of fight that happened between you guys that I don't know about? Cecil's like, no, I've never had a problem with Kelsey. I asked Jon. Before that stream, when Kelsey rage quit, that was on Jon's Rumble stream, I was like, did anything ever happen between, like, did you guys ever get into a fight or something that me and Cecil don't know about? Jon said no. And I was like, maybe it's because they work together. And like, Jon is very like meticulous about the way he wants things to go. But I was like, I couldn't figure out what happened. And I'm like, if it was because it was too late, like, I get it. It's late at night. You go to bed early. You wake up early because Kelsey does morning shows. I'm like, tell us, just tell us it's too late for you. And then he used the excuse, well, like, they have too many guests and I want to talk about this. I'm like, you can easily steer the conversation. You know, the only reason we started bringing on guests is because you stopped showing up. So if you want to talk about comics, talk about comics.
In talking to a few people, there seems to be some confusion about the stream's title. It was widely accepted that this took place on a Rumble exclusive Jack show, but as a few people behind the scenes told me, this was not the case. This was on Jon Malin's Rumble exclusive Dirt stream, a series of streams notorious for Malin going off on his grievances with the state of Comicsgate. They immediately go private, and no one has been able to archive or save these streams. It is believed that Kelsey's final appearance with Malin was on such a Dirt stream. Mr. Dongs of the Kiwi Farms gave a breakdown of that stream, noting Malin's feud with PTP and calling the con a bust. Mr. Dongs wrote, "After a few hours of calling the con a bust and PTP a degenerate drug dealer, Kelsey snapped about how he was starting to think this wasn't a bit by Malin at all. Push came to shove and Malin called Kelsey a parasite who never rode the YouTube org with heart and only appears on the Jack show because he needs another handout. In response, Kelsey quit the show and has since gone on to co-panel with Graybeards with old friends Aaron Lopresti and David Williams, leaving his former co-host /Frog to sweep it up by saying that he just didn't get Malin's kayfabe heel gimmick. Allegedly, the reason Malin deletes his streams, especially those exclusive to Rumble, is due to an apparent strike he got on his YouTube channel prior to the Tampa convention, in which he stated he was on his way to the con to start a confrontation, and this was the explanation given as to why he moved his more controversial streams to Rumble. Only in the title that the alleged intent to cause a confrontation was made. The stream itself made no such allusions to any cause or intent of such. But again, due to many of these streams being wiped from the internet, all that remains are the testimonies of those who've witnessed the timeline of events. So take this with a grain of salt.
Is Jack show finished? I think it was finished a while ago. I'm ready to move on to other things. I'm having a lot of fun. Getting ready to do my comic. Getting out to conventions, meeting people. I'll just say one thing. Everybody mentioned Graybeards to me at the show. Nobody mentioned Jack show. That's all I needed to hear. So we're going to get on with things. We're going to have some fun. We're going to make comics. Comicscape ascending. That's right, Past Master Dan. It's time to grow up.
The rift between Kelsey and Malin was the first post-Tampa conflict. But as with all the creators labeled a Dungeoneer, the hostility towards Kelsey existed long before it. It seems, according to Panboy of War Campaign, that the enmity between Malin and Kelsey went as far back as 2020, during Cecil's cash grab campaign.
Back in the day when Cecil was doing his first book, and do you remember the Cecil Peed book? And there was this contest that they were doing for who was going to be at the head of the Cecil Peed. And Anna wanted to be at the head of the Cecil Peed. She wanted to be drawn in on this cover.
I woke up just a few minutes ago and I saw there was drama going. Could you imagine that $3,000 cover? There'd be a bidding war and behind the scenes jockeying for that.
Well, there's no behind the scenes jockeying because it's already been purchased.
Right.
Too little, too late for Anna. But I mean, there are people who are concerned because they really did want to see Anna as the head of the Human Centipede. So
they should have donated more.
Listen, you could share my screen. There was another Anna is true. She's our beauty, but there is another beauty out there. There are other beauties. This is the beauty that will get the front of the centipede.
No, they actually raised a little bit of money there. That is something else. Get Gina on the cover of Cecil Pede. So they did the same thing that Anna did.
Yeah, they actually even grabbed her text. Kicked her off.
Oh shit!
But
God, War Campaign's funny.
I mean, this is going to be a controversial cover in itself because people will purposely misconstrue it as to me making fun of a trans or something to that. But that's who won.
We outbid Anna on this cover, and we were going to put Gina, who was our friend Man of Sex dressed up like a woman, on this cover. And so we had like, we were kind of debating, you know, we were toying with them. We're using it like, well, we might not put Gene on the cover. Maybe we'll put Malin on the cover, you know, and stuff like that. And kind of just, we were taunting people with who's going to go on the cover of the Cecil Pede, because we had won the bidding, so we could choose whoever we wanted. And since War Campaign had a falling out with Comicsgate and Cecil, he didn't do the Gina cover and ended up going with the alternate cover that Kelsey Shannon had drawn. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure, you know how Malin's a sensitive bitch. He couldn't have been too happy about Kelsey Shannon drawing this for Cecil's book.
I was upset before because I didn't understand why Kelsey felt the way that he did. And I messaged him and he kept changing. He wasn't changing his answer. He was gaslighting me. He said, you only saw a clip from this one stream. And I told him, I'm like, no, I watched that stream in its entirety while it was live. I was watching your show. And he's like, no, John clipped me and took me out of context. And I'm like, no, I know he didn't take you out of context because I watched your show. I watched the entire stream. And he just kept going back and forth about that. And he just wouldn't give me an answer.
I wrote Kelsey an email like, Kelsey, I love you. I need you around, man. I need to work with you. I need to laugh with you. I need to joke with you. And this dude said, I don't like the things you're doing with Patrick Thomas Parnell. I don't like the moves you're making against Eric July. Like, any of this shit is my fault. And disappeared. And then he came back a week later and he was just like, maybe I'll come on your stream. No, you made your choice, dude. You know, you made your choice. You ally yourself with people who choose to be my enemies.
He is most likely referring to the December 3rd, 2023 DM exchange he had with Kelsey, in which Kelsey stated he was mostly busy and was not fond of streaming. Ethan expressed his interest in hiring Kelsey for work before Kelsey listed the amount of work he was hired to do already. Ethan didn't seem like he wanted to lose Kelsey from the fold and wanted to stay in touch. That was when Kelsey told him he was not interested in the drama involving PTP, Eric July, and Mr. Biggins, among others. It was not lost among A-loggers on the Kiwi farms that Kelsey did a lot of the coloring for Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet when the original colorist, Kyle Ritter, was off the project on vacation. After the Riot Press Room DMs were read on stream, CG got to see Kelsey's real feelings. In a message from September 16, 2023, Kelsey runs down his reasons for leaving the Jack Show, noting how Ethan van Sciver, Jon Malin, and Shane Davis had run his name through the mud, calling Malin a cunt, how they treated Reinie and PTP, as well as a slew of former CGers.
When I read those Dungeoneer files, and there was something he said in it where it was like, no, you guys are my people. And I just that kind of broke my heart because I'm like, I don't know. We were always there for you. We only ever tried to help you. And I don't know. Maybe I thought there was more to that friendship than there actually was. But I was like, because these guys were there for me when my sister died. And I'm just like, these people that all they're doing is talking shit about your friends that have done nothing but try to help you. Those are your people? Wow.
In November of 2025, things seem to have gone full circle for Anna, who felt Malin blamed her for leaving the Jack Show. She was also feeling the effects of EBS and Shane Davis roasting her for her Instagram post. Anna went on to her infamous cry stream on Rumble.
He told me, when I asked him if he was upset with me, he told me it was all in my head. And then 30 minutes later, he left the Jack Show. So clearly it wasn't all in my head. I cried when Kelsey left the Jack Show. When things were hard and not fun and I wanted to take a break, I still stuck it through the best that I could. And then now this, it's like, God, I don't know what to fucking do. I don't know what to do. John doesn't talk. John doesn't respond to DMs. I was genuinely shocked yesterday when he responded to mine when I asked him if I had upset him. And he told me it's all in my head, which clearly it wasn't. And then he left Jack Show. Didn't talk to me and Cecil about it. He just I'm leaving. No explanation as to why. And then less than a minute later goes and announces it to the world. I found out because somebody messaged me if it was true. And Cecil found out because he was on the live stream and the chat told him.
And so began the feud between Anna and Jon Malin, who took to X when it was alleged Anna blamed Malin for Kelsey leaving the Jack show. And just like with Irene Strakowski before her, Anna would find herself becoming the subject of many of Malin's posts. Anna found herself blindsided by Malin going public about his leaving the Jack show and not telling his friends in private first. But then Anna didn't pay attention, or rather, ignored Malin's pattern of behavior, as evidenced in the early days of CG when Malin went public with his grievances with Rob Casey, rather than squash it behind the scenes, and may I add, over a liked tweet. Phil Diaz, like Camel Moon and Kelsey Shannon, did not visit the castle the night of July 28, 2023. It didn't stop him having the Dungeoneer label being placed upon him.
By the way, Phil Diaz is not a Dungeoneer. That is stolen valor. Malin keeps saying he's a Dungeoneer and he's not. Yeah, Cecil is, though.
Diaz was one of the few comic skaters who fulfilled his books on time. He was one half of Zate Comics along with his brother, Brandon. But he was also embroiled in a lot of controversy behind the scenes. Speculation abounds as to why Diaz was targeted by the CG elite. If you watch my documentary, The Story of the Failed Pit Omnibus, then you already know Diaz was hired by Dale Keown to officially write a new Pit story and assist with the Omnibus, compiling Pit's entire original run from Image Comics.
Ethan, at the time, I liked him. He said, he was like, well, one of the things is Phil had asked to write the book and Dale can't say no to people. So Dale said yes. But the thing is, Dale should be working with someone like Bill Willingham for his business. And I remember chiming in and going, well, Ethan, if your whole thing, right, is if we're trying to create an alternative in the mainstream, someone who's self-made like Phil working with someone like Dale Keown, isn't that showing we're doing it? Because like in the comic industry, you'd always have that, like a newcomer with, and I was like, someone like Phil, who's like self-made working on something like Pit, that's huge. From what I understand, Dale asked Phil to write. So that wasn't true.
There was also some confusion, it seemed, between Diaz and PTP regarding who was doing the omnibus. All we know is that Dale fired Phil due to Mandy telling Dale that Phil was the guilty party behind the release of her adult pictures, without proof, of course. Diaz recorded a phone conversation with Ethan and PTP in which Ethan admitted Mandy Summers was using sex to get what she wanted in CG, including most likely landing the gig with Dale over the Pit omnibus. Ethan, a man who released private DMs without thought, was mad that his private conversation with Phil and PTP was recorded and released, but Dan Fraga called EVS in blatant hypocrisy when Fraga cornered Ethan on their private phone call being made known on X and on stream.
Nobody told him.
What's that got to do with me?
Pee-wee Brunch Viewmaster person.
Yo, Dan, to be fair, like, some of us operate in the daylight and not, recording people using their girlfriends in order to
I understand that.
Try to destroy someone. I mean,
Ethan,
your pal phone tap Phil.
You know what?
Basically, when he wanted I know, but listen, when he wanted a conversation with me about Mandy, the sole purpose of that was to undermine and destroy me and Comicscape. That's what he was trying to do. That's a guy who I've helped out. That's why he did that. And then he lied. He had his girlfriend tape me. He said he had his girlfriend press the record button so he could have plausible deniability. That's a scumbag. It's a scumbag move. And there's no denying that.
What were the things you said on the tape, Ethan?
The things I said on the tape were me talking to two friends and just supposing.
But they weren't your friends at that point. They weren't your friends at that point.
I didn't know that.
The timeline that you look at the timeline. They weren't your friends. You told me the reason why you thought that Pat was off the reservation was that he was hungry for power. And then
I think so.
And how would he get that though? Define because you defined power for me that during our call, and I'm only bringing up our call because you did. I thought it was a private conversation, but
no. Well, I mean, it's people know that we had it. Absolutely.
Yeah, but then you did a stream about it.
Yeah, of course.
Why?
About our call? Because it's important.
Yeah. Why? No, but it was a private phone call between friends.
Right. So I didn't record it, but I did
No,
report
but then
about
you,
the.
no, but you also put in your own tweet. I had a private conversation. You know what private means?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, clearly it wasn't private. You know, so let's just disclose everything.
Anyway, all the pit stuff is documented here. Phil also found himself in Jon Malin's warpath when Malin accused him of spreading gossip about his marriage. On his appearance on a Slum stream, he accused Phil without saying for what. Naturally, he refused to answer for himself.
You cancel Phil Diaz.
I didn't cancel Phil Diaz.
Why did you talk shit about him on your stream and basically make everybody who fucking follows that group want to back Phil's book? How's that? Is
Did I make everybody not back him? Is that what I did?
Come on, dude. Come on,
man. You gotta stop.
Phil, let me tell you what. Let me tell you what. This is what I'm going to tell you. Phil Diaz, you guys don't know, deserved every bit that he got. Every bit that he got from me. It's not for you to know. You go talk to Phil.
Showing receipts. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I call bullshit. You lost all your credibility. All your credibility.
Phil Diaz,
bro.
Phil Diaz is talking shit.
I'm glad they
for Hillary.
Thank you.
Hillary,
Reminding me why I didn't back any of your books anymore.
Malin finally went public on the details of his grievance with Phil.
Were you talking shit about my wife at a convention? And he said, no, John. No, John. And I said, oh. I guess maybe these are moments of truth. And but I'm like, in order for that to be true, my friends and associates would have to be lying to me. If what Phil is saying is true, my friends and associates would have to be lying to me. And I said, so are you saying that Sean is lying? Is that what you're saying, that Sean is lying? And he said, no, John. And that told me right there that what Sean said is true, that Phil Diaz, in my opinion, has been going around definitely to these convention centers, to these conventions, and talking smack about me and my lovely wife, Faye. PK Allen's throbbing pulse for 5. Slums war campaign has been linking what looks like divorce proceedings from Michigan with your name on it. If you aren't aware, well, now you are. Well, now everybody is, because you just super chatted it, Pete.
Matthew Fowler was present at the hangout where discussion over CGers and failed marriages happened. He stated that what Malin was accusing Phil of doing was a lie. Phil had no choice but to respond to the allegations put out by Jon Malin.
John said that I allegedly started a rumor that he was going to leave his wife for Anna. And as he said that, he laughed himself because it was so ridiculous. As the words came out of his mouth, he said, I was at a convention on the con floor. I told this to his friend of 20 years, Sean. And the truth is, I've never been to a convention with Sean. He said that he heard this from a friend that Sean told this to. Back in April, he said, a little birdie told me that someone told them that someone's been talking trash. And last week, he said it was me. What actually happened was Sean was in town. And myself, my brother, my buddy Matt Fowler, a friend from the chat, Admiral Wackass, we took Sean out to lunch. About like a 2-hour lunch. We had a great time. During that lunch, Sean said his friend was going through a divorce. And at the time, our buddy Matt also was going through a divorce. Matt goes, oh man, CG's ruining everybody's relationships. I'm going through a divorce too. Cecil did. JDA did. Did you hear John might be too? And Sean's like, oh no, what's that about? He's like, oh, someone found this document online and people think it's about that. He's like, oh, I didn't know that. That's where the conversation ended. It was a 30-second to a 1-minute conversation. During that, Anna's name never came up. Sean didn't seem uncomfortable. He didn't say, hey man, stop talking trash about my buddy. That never happened. So after Malin's spurg out last week, I hit up Sean. I'm like, what's this all about, man? He called me the next day. We had a conversation, great conversation. He apologized to me, said he was embarrassed. He said there's no need for that, man. And I asked him, I'm like, what was the stuff about Anna? Did anybody bring that up? Because I don't remember that. And Sean said, no, I don't remember anything about Anna. He did mention this to a friend, asking if this rumors were true. And then the friend did tell Jon about that. Now, I don't know if there was, obviously it's a game of telephone at that point. I talked to that friend as well. Same thing. He apologized to me. He said that he thought Jon would handle things more professionally. But we're cool. Everything's good between us. So Jon in Dark Gifts chat asked me if I was trashing him and his wife, and I said no. He said, did Sean lie then? And I said no. And that's where he thinks he caught me in some sort of lie. But talking to Sean, one of the first things he mentioned to me is Jon's friend of 20 years, hasn't talked to Jon Malin in over a year. Me going out with my buddies to this lunch happened in February. And at no time did Jon get contact Sean at all. In April, Jon told me to have receipts if I'm going to make accusations. I think Jon should take his advice. He at no point contacted Sean about this instance, and whatever he had in his head that he's been holding on to since February, been jumbled around, and perhaps things have been made up on their own inside of that head. Instead of talking to his friend, he went online and told these lies. He never checked the validity of the situation, and the rumor that now is out there was not started or spread by me. It was started and spread by Jon, because he is now telling thousands of people a situation that didn't even happen, about an instance that was a 30-second long conversation at a lunch between 5 people.
Another person of note who seemed to display hostility towards Phil was Von Klaus, writer of Monster MD among his credits. Klaus seemed okay with Danger Vanessa having her chat maliciously brigaded by Ethan van Sciver to placate Jon Malin's feelings over not getting his book, Godlike, nominated for Book of the Year or something. He claimed Diaz won the Writer of the Year award many times by brigading the chat, only for Amanda B to correct him. I had an interesting exchange with Von Klaus myself and noticed he omitted context in my statement I made in my second Heroes Con video. Klaus quoted me saying, the SJWs were right. I noted that he left out the part where I said, unfortunately, meaning that every single thing the SJW said about Comicsgate in 2018 was right in 2025. An entire video could be made about the hypocrisy Von Klaus displayed in his replies to me regarding convention harassment that CG seemed to fully endorse now. He brings up Phil Diaz and asks why I didn't do a video on Phil hurting creators with his phone recording, ignoring that EVS admitted Manny Summers was using sex to get what she wanted in CG, while giving Shane Davis the okay for his own recording of his confrontation with Dan Fraga at Heroes Con 2025. Mind you, not only did I not say that Shane was wrong for his mic recording, I fully defended his right to do so. Aside from his contempt for Phil Diaz, why would I bring this up? Because in late 2025, Klaus found himself in a similar spot when he was removed from the Comicsgate King's Room by Ethan van Sciver for not following Ethan's orders when he was told to cut his beef with Liam Gray out. When asked if it was worth kicking Vaughn from his sphere for Liam, EVS said the Guild answer was yes. Klaus would eventually be let back into the room with much support from his Comicsgate creator peers. But when he initially put the news out that he was kicked from Ethan's circle, I went to our back and forth exchange and left him a note. I said, here you are smearing Phil Diaz, but months later you are treated just like Diaz. Care to revisit your sentiment in light of recent events now that you got the boot? Narwhal was one of the rare outliers of Comicsgate. His art style was an acquired taste for many. I myself dug his expressionist style, which reminded me of the likes of cartoonist Al Hirschfeld.
It's Narwhal, Matt the Shadow Band. Matt, how's it going? From Road Warrior Drake is the famous book.
You didn't give me a chance to put my makeup on yet. Like, you totally just hit the live button. I mean, look at me. I'm not prepared to go on. I haven't trimmed my face yet. I haven't even done my hair yet. Like, you just hit the live button. Like, totally just put me out. Oh, shit.
I booby trapped you. We're live, by the way.
So it was a surprise to see Narwhal one day put out a tweet in which he called Shane Davis saggy-faced. It was during the reading of the DMs that we began to hear some of the context of the enmity between Narwhal and Shane.
And then Shane does this whole, he's about to launch a book, he maybe should watch what he's saying, and it's just weird. It was like a clear thing, and it's like there were so many people in that DM group. The reason they went, and even multiple people have told me after, like, the reason they went after you is they thought you were the weak link. And then what happened is a lot of people stood by me. Narwhal, God bless him, hail. Reinie, Hyper Wizard, they all tweeted out and support of me. And my sign-up list, by the way, doubled after that. So that was great.
What did Shane do?
I don't know. He was fabricating some shit about me, man. I think there's some hate there. Or he hates Shane and somehow he's got to throw me in to spread it out. I don't know what Narwhal's deal is. I thought we were cool, but
I don't know. I don't quite understand either. Something having to do with Nar Wars. There was Nar Wars and
okay, so what Nar Wars was, if I recall, Cecil was doing a stream that he couldn't.
I like old Nar Wars. I don't like Disney Nar Wars.
Yeah, Cecil was going to do it like a Tuesday with Cecil, and he couldn't do the stream for some technical reason. Like, he just couldn't do it. And then what happened was that I was like, okay, well, Narwhal's doing a stream. Everyone go over to Narwhal. So I'm a mod there, so I'm sending a link. Everyone go check out Narwhal. I hung out in Cecil's chat. Dead, it was just a dead stream, but I hung out there for 40 minutes just sending out links to Narwhal. Everyone go hang out with Narwhal. Go hang out with Narwhal. Narwhal stream. Everyone go watch Narwhal. Narwhal got 400 viewers or something like that, which for him is top of the mountain. Holy shit! I'm king now. What happened? Everybody just really wants to watch me. But he wasn't aware that I was telling everybody for 45 minutes in this chat. Everyone go to Narwhal. Here's the link. Go watch Narwhal. Go watch Narwhal. Shane also happened to start a stream somewhere along that time. And Shane did not get as many viewers as Narwhal because I'm sending the link and say, hey, Narwhal. And then that became a thing. So Narwhal was trash talking Shane a little bit, which I thought was just good old fashioned ribbing. But now with all this stuff going on, I'm like, maybe there was something a little bit deeper going on there. But yeah, so he was talking shit about Shane, not bad shit, just ribbing shit. Look at me, I got all these viewers and Shane doesn't. And, he's king of the world.
If you are following the Dungeoneer drama, it wasn't unreasonable to see why else Narwhal resented Shane Davis.
Can you actually give more of an update on Narwhal? Because what happened with him? I read the chat of him going off on Shane and John. What's going on?
I had him on promoting Cerebus, and then the next day he was calling me a devil on his stream. So I don't know. That guy, a little wobbly there. I really don't know.
Well, he hates your guts. I think he made this like me. Why does he hate? I don't understand that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know.
He thinks he was mean to Reinie. That's why Reinie won.
Oh my god.
Well,
Narwhal is in love with Reinie.
Oh yeah. He thought he is kind of. I think.
Yeah. Well, he thought he was going to hook up with Reinie. That's because we probably put that idea in his head. But originally, him going to Tampa was a hookup with Reinie. But then as the date got closer, Reinie started playing off oh yeah, Narwhal's going to be there. Oh, well, a lot of people are going to be there.
Oh my god!
He was just another face in the crowd, and there's pictures. I think one of their group pictures, he's touching her hip in the photo, and it's yeah, Narwhal's wanting to get a little something. Clearly, I mean, we we tried to hook him up with her. Yeah, as the reality came closer, she distanced herself from that idea.
Shane then drops his really oddball claim.
Well, there's a reason Yanzi left the Comicsgate room.
The Comicsgate room.
Yeah, there was a Comicsgate green room, and she left it for a reason.
Because of Narwhal?
Yeah.
Oh, Narwhal's got the fever.
Narwhal hit on Yanzi? What the
He
hell?
was DMing her at like 3 a.m.
Pardon me?
It was an issue, and she left one of the rooms he was in. Like, I don't know. I don't know. The guy's weird. It's like, well, I didn't mean anything by it, and she's in the room, and he thought that was an open invite to message people at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, look, we have a kid and stuff. Like, don't blow up her Twitter. And that was pretty much it. And then he's like, you're making something out of something that's not. And I'm just like, okay, whatever, dude. I guess you can DM my wife whenever.
Shane's wordplay here is rather dangerous and inflammatory. To be clear, this was a DM group chat. If you've ever been in one of those, messages tend to be typed in there at any time during a 24-hour period. A message in a DM group at 3 a.m. isn't out of the ordinary. Edwin Boyette put it rather well. In addition to being his wife, Yanzi was also Shane's business partner, and unless Narwhal was sending inappropriate messages to her, this was a reputational attack, and Shane was an untrustworthy narrator. Malin and Shane also appeared to throw it out there that Narwhal had unrequited affections for Reinie, and that his lashing out at Malin and Shane in January 2024, almost 6 months after Tampa Bay, was in reaction to the months of targeted malicious jokes, as well as the recent DM room readings.
Shane and Narwhal don't like each other very much. And Narwhal, see, the problem is that John and Shane are instigators, and people see...
Oh, you mean saggy face Shane Davis?
Yeah. People see the three of us as a unit now, and we are the unit, you know.
I see John as a unit.
Yes. But, yeah, Narwhal was saying that I was egging them on, or I can't remember what Narwhal was saying. So I had a conversation with Narwhal. He's like, I fucking hate Shane. I'm like, I know, but you love me, Narwhal. I named you, you know. And he said, okay, I do. So Narwhal loves me, but he really hates Shane.
Narwhal, known for having a meek reputation, aggressively had gone to bat for Von Coleman. He was very direct in calling out Shane and Malin for bullying him and threatening his career.
Yeah, you want to talk about Narwhal, and I'm sorry I didn't speak more when I should have. In all honesty, my biggest, and it was just, you know, kind of reflected in the DMs, is I think people should have just spoken and told them shut that down right away. A lot of people are scared. That was one of the things that I noticed too, is like, I didn't really notice much of a hierarchy before, and I was like, oh my, some people are scared to stand up to certain people, and there's this, and I'm like, it was this whole weird thing. Well, like, everyone knew they were being annoying, but people were just like, didn't want to say anything. And then with Per, I mean, the reaction to him basically pointing out what most people I know were thinking was, to me, what was most surprising was the reaction to what I thought was common sense. He was right to stand up for me. I agree with him 100%. And the way they treated, I still feel bad about it to this day. You know, a couple other people said, just keep quiet for a bit. Let's ride this out. And I was like, okay, you know, like, I don't like giving these people attention, but sometimes I feel bad that, like, my friend got dragged so hard and I didn't say more. So this was, I was kind of fed up. It was the start of the new year. And I remember, like, someone texted me going, they're still whining about you. And I'm like, oh my God, the background is still us. And I'm like, said something in Malin's chat, like, here we go again. And then Ethan goes, oh, Vaughn, send Vaughn the link. And immediately I'm like, that's weird. Ethan doesn't give a shit about me. Why suddenly he wants to have me on, and he gets his face like lights up. And I'm like, this is a trap. I'm just going to wait a bit. Let's see what happens. And so I wait a few minutes, and then Malin says something like, oh, he must have been a bitch. He didn't take the link. And it's like, dude, I just don't want to hang out with you. But then immediately after Malin says that, Ethan starts doing this really obvious fake laugh, like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And like, and then he starts reading out DMs. I'm like, oh, okay. So Ethan had planned that, like, he was going to start reading DMs while I was on air. That was that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, well, whatever. Vaughn's a kid. I'm gonna give him
forgive
some leeway.
Vaughn. Vaughn's being led astray. If he wants to come on back, he can come on back.
Yeah. Vaughn is the what is it Hitler was trying to make?
The Hitler Youth?
Aryan Youth?
Yeah, he's like the Ubermensch or something, like we gotta give him some leeway, man. He's the future, right?
He's got to come Christmas caroling with us. That's the only thing that he's got to do, John.
I was kind of like, I don't feel like responding to drama right now. And then Ethan had tweeted out like it was a cover from like Fantastic Four versus X-Men, which if you haven't read that series, side note, great. But anyway, Ethan and I have talked about in person, like how great that series is, underrated. And I remember just like casually, I'm like, I'm just going to talk about, I love the series. And then he responds to that. And he's like, hey, Vaughn, just so we're clear, you can be friends with whoever you want. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, all right. But I kind of knew it was a fake olive branch, but I'm like, I'll take it. And then I'm not going to say anything. I'll be pleasantly surprised, right? If things work out. But then like later on, he ended up, there's actually, if you go and look at where they're going through the dungeon files, even Malin showed restraint. He's like, I'm trying to protect this person. He's a young creator. And Ethan goes, you mean Vaughn Coleman? Like Ethan did a complete 180 from everything's good, Vaughn, you can be friends with whoever you want, to going out of his way, even over Malin, to throw me under the bus. So like, and Ethan's very volatile. He like on his stance on me shifts like radically, like all the time. It's really weird. But like one thing you say something nice about me, they don't hate me again. And I'm like, this is just like I don't care at this point. Block them. I'm like, this is just, it's annoying.
An interesting observation I made is that the CG Elite picked and chose which Dungeoneers they targeted. For Malin, it was Irene Strakowski and Phil Diaz. For Shane Davis, it was Narwhal and Ali Sanguis. For Ethan, it was Vaughn Coleman. And while there was some overlap among them, each of these three concentrated on specific Dungeoneers. With Ethan, his focus on Vaughn Coleman bordered on morbidly obsessive. More on that in a bit. The Comicsgaters in the CT chats focused on Vaughn as being this delusional young boy going after adult women and also making light of the loss of his father on the 9/11 attacks. The Riot Press DM room was definitely commenting on the constant streaming over the Tampa Bay convention. Vaughn Coleman was very outspoken about the treatment he and Reinie were getting. He talks about a photo of the group taken at Tampa, in which the CG elitists were photoshopping people out of the photo. This was the incident Chad Townsend said cost him some refunds.
Just totally soiled what was good. And then having us in the background, photoshopping out people who didn't like, having his background as us for like months, where it'd be like, this person's John would be like, removing PTP, removing this. Like, that's just like really weird, obsessive behavior. Now, I would tell people in my personal life, I'm like, so this guy has had us, he was invited to the show, he didn't go, but he whined about us and he's had us in his background for months. And every time I tell people like that, they'd be like, what the fuck? Like, it's just the weird, you describe this behavior to anyone else, it's just the weirdest shit. And I kind of started to go, okay, is this really what I want to be around? Like, another thing that they would do is they'd be like, oh, Vaughn can't take jokes. And like, go to like any stream on any panel stream, even like the John's Dungeoneers jokes or whatever. Like, I'm always anyone who's hung out with me knows I can take a joke. Anyone who's watched streams with me knows I can take a joke. But again, it doesn't matter. They had a narrative to spread. And that was one of the things that was like, the truth didn't matter. Jay Bama even at one point goes, this doesn't make sense. Vaughn and I have said stuff to each other's face. He's not the kind that would get offended by jokes. But then he ended up like going back on it. But it's like, anyone who's hung out with me knows it was such complete and total bullshit.
Vaughn seemed the least phased from the targeting and seemed to have taken it all in stride. But what I observed is whenever Vaughn was taking pictures at a convention or event, Ethan would retweet or swipe the picture and repost it. And it was done so often that it bordered on an obsession that I could only really describe as, well, homosexual. In one of his insane activities, he showed a photo of Vaughn's face zoomed in. Why? I don't know.
John, I don't know if you saw me in the chat, but I did point out that Vaughn Coleman has launched his comic book, his self-insert comic book on both Indiegogo and Kickstarter today. I think just like an hour or two ago. And he is, or maybe 5 hours ago. And he is streaming right now to promote his book, which is, I don't know if you've seen his book, but it is, it looks like a blonde homosexual, and he's got lightning powers.
Yeah. Yeah,
Little
I've seen
that twink.
I've seen some of it when he was still on the good side, you know, the side of light instead of the side of darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course, you know, whenever somebody has a book, we have to promote it. We just say, don't back it on Kickstarter. If you're going to back it on Indiegogo. Obviously, you know, if you were wondering, what if Vaughn Coleman had superpowers?
But EBS has had praise for Vaughn's hustle, and at times has admitted his books were top-notch. One can argue that Ethan had a case of regret that Vaughn, a young creator, left the circle of CG, depriving it of the longevity it needs. The remaining creators and fans in CG are aging out, and with no youth movement in Comicsgate, it will definitely shrivel into oblivion.
That was my thing when I started getting into this and saying, like, oh, I'm gonna, in the middle of the pandemic, when I lost my store, because I had an online store that was doing really well before the pandemic, but then the pandemic happened and it crashed out. I was like, okay, so while I have stuff happening, I'll work on my books and I'll get really into that. I was like, okay, if I do that, what I'm going to have to make sure I do is I'm always just real. And I don't do drama, because what I'm looking for is longevity. And I can't play a character to save my life. And the drama, just like you're saying, aging it out, like, and doing everything based on your looks and stuff. I can't do that because I need the longevity of, you know, I want people to be reading my stuff for a long time. I don't want it to be short. And so that's why when I got into this, I was like, I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm just going to be me. And then things blew up around me without me knowing that they would.
Patrick T. need the Dungeoneers variant cover for cash. Well, Reinie was in the dungeon. She was in the trenches with me. And so was Vaughn Coleman. What happened? Are they pissing somebody off? Why did somebody just wrote, I'm done with that crew? What does that mean? How can you be mad at Reinie? Are you a monster? Did she ever do to anybody? She's like a sweetheart.
Irene Strakowski, also known as Reinie, joined Comicsgate in 2022. Her declaration sent shockwaves to the comic book industry that even misandrist and failed comic book editor Heather Antos posted about it, citing that it was heartbreaking that a friend would align herself with extreme toxicity. This prompted Reinie to respond to Antos, calling her to task for being silent while she was trying to get her fiendish books realized before Antos would DM her a veiled threat. She became friends with Eggbeater writer Ali Sanguis, hosted streams with the Diaz brothers and Narwhal. Her books were being fulfilled, and she was friendly and respectful to her customers.
Irene Strakowski left Marvel Comics of her own accord to come be Comicsgate, just out of a moral sense. She's got a book called Fiendish 2 on Indiegogo right now. I promise you, it is amazing. You will love it. Go back Fiendish 2 on Indiegogo.
She did a Jumping Jack stream as a thank you for her Fiendish book hitting the mark at 50K.
This pose, get to the push-ups. Don't give people this to look at. Come on.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I can hear you.
Don't you? Oh, Shane, don't you do that?
I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I knew you were going to do that.
That wasn't me.
3, 4.
Wrong. Start all over.
No, I did it.
One to thank us on.
But cracks began to show when Irene was a guest on Shane Davis's live stream, where he appeared very drunk.
Am I sure I'm not a virgin?
I'm pretty sure you're not a virgin, but you are now the Virgin Mary of this group. Fucking
blasphemy.
I'm just saying, I'm all in.
You can't
John
be.
Malin's in chat. Hey, John, do you have Yanzi's number? Someone save this man.
Look, I'm okay. I'm head above water. Like, look, as long as I give it to her, it doesn't matter what I'm thinking about.
That's so inaccurate. It's horrifying.
Oh my god, Jon Malin's telling me to run. Oh, this must be bad when he's looking out for me. All right. Bye.
Promise, and you broke it.
Shane,
You don't make me crawl. Hey, Irene, don't make me shut.
Night, y'all.
Whoa, Black Cherry. Please.
After Irene left the stream, she started up her own. Unfortunately, a still drunk Shane Davis hopped onto her stream and proceeded to insult her in a very embarrassing display.
Oh, whoa. Big draw to Irene Strakowski for bringing Shane Davis in here after calling him drunk multiple times on her stream, after piggybacking off his stream to then go launch her own stream. Oh my God, I'm glad you're the thermometer up my ass for what is drunk and what isn't.
Yeah. I do think I am a good judge of that because I am not drunk.
I don't think you are because you're a lonely cat lady.
Oh my fucking god. I don't even have a cat. I'm just a lonely lady, Shane. Are you happy?
Because
Are
you've eaten them, because they're on the menu, you don't have a
Yeah, that's right. Am I the object of your anger now? You're just gonna take it all out on me?
No, I don't know. Why did you come in my stream? Why did you come in my stream to call me drunk and then fire off your own stream and then shun me and then ostracize me for being drunk?
That's not what happened. In the way that you put it, that's not what happens.
That's not the correct order.
Yeah, you're reading it in once you sober up, you'll see that that's the crazy way of reading what happened.
Because you said it's crazy, or because it's crazy?
Because it is. Because I went on your
that's
stream.
the fact. It's crazy because it's not an opinion. Because it's actually crazy.
No, because the way you're framing it is incorrect. I went on your stream. I mean, I just DM'd you this. I told you, but I went on your stream because you
were a concerned friend to then come to your stream and ostracize me for being drunk. I am drunk or not. If you had a gun pointed to your head and you had to shoot a definite answer into whether Shane Davis on your stream is a drunk or not, what would you say?
I don't know. It seemed like earlier you were pretty clearly drunk.
Earlier, right? So
I don't want to rub it in.
Is drunk a relative term with a active metabolism?
I don't know. I mean, you still sound
You don't
a little
know.
off right
You
now.
don't know. So you don't have an active metabolism, or you don't drink.
I actually have a really terrible metabolism.
Okay,
which is
so
what I'm
you
comfortable
absolutely don't know before you go out and define these things, right?
with. It seemed pretty.
It seems you
obvious.
don't
I
know,
wasn't-
right? Before you go onto your own stream from coming off my stream and dictating I'm a drunk.
I'm sorry if that offended you, Shane.
No, it doesn't offend me. I'm just trying to figure out your grounding on this, what you know and what you don't know.
It just seemed pretty obvious, but I wasn't.
Seems
trying
pretty
to-
obvious to a single lady living with cats. Okay.
Irene was among those who aligned with PTP at the Ride Press booth at Tampa Bay Comic Con 2023, and she was also part of the group that went to the castle. Her stock with the CG Elite, Jon Malin and Shane Davis in particular, was about to go down fast.
Wait, is she drinking a beer?
Yeah.
Can you drink that on the convention floor?
Yes, you can.
Oh.
When we were at Anime Monster, we were drinking the whole time.
Oh yeah, because Cecil was trying to get that one girl drunk. That's right. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
Vaughn Coleman.
He changed his T-shirt from green to blue. That's a lot
Right.
for Kelsey. Vaughn drinking.
Having some wine. Yeah, let's take this kid and let's just fuck him up, basically.
Yep.
I mean, he's an adult, but
Yeah, but everyone said he was a good kid, and Not anymore. And you know why? Right here.
Hang out with Comicscape, see what it gets you.
Yeah. Irene is sitting right there, proximity to the she-devil.
Jon Malin in particular seemed to show an unfunny hostility towards Irene, accusing her of luring guys like Von Coleman and Narwhal to the castle, despite the fact that it was Cecil who told the group to go. In the DM room, August 13th, 2023, Mr. Biggins noted Malin's treatment of Reinie as being abusive. This caused Graham Nolan to comment that Malin's actions towards Reinie were unprofessional, divisive, and BS he actively avoids. Malin's descent into his aggressive campaign against Irene went full speed, including the time he called her a succubus.
I hate the optimism of youth, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like they don't understand. Like, Vaughn doesn't realize he's driving in the wrong, like, lane of traffic. Like, he's on the wrong side of the interstate right now. He has no fucking clue. And he thinks everything's really golden in front of him.
I hear that, right?
But it's all oncoming traffic going. You don't understand.
Yeah, and then he's got a succubus. Yeah, he doesn't realize he has a succubus among him.
Allegedly, Jon Malin did a Rumble dirt stream where he tore Reinie apart, and this allegedly began to poison the well for her.
The first weird thing, I remember my friend was in the chat watching, and he points out, it was like John was on Rumble for whatever reason. I still have it screenshotted. Someone in the chat was going, "Hey, Vaughn, I heard people, PTP was talking shit, mentioning new CG to people. Do you want to talk about that?" And like was starting rumors in the chat. Now, I was next to PTP the entire time. I never once heard this. So it was like from the beginning, like even from the first night I'm back, someone's like in the chat, like just making shit up. And that was weird. I think it was like the first time I was in, and then it was like, John kept going, and I don't remember the exact things, but it was like John was saying shit that was like clearly not jokes. I remember like something like, "I was invited multiple times. I chose not to go." And it was something to that effect. And it was also like, Richard and I went, and no one met up with us then when Richard Meyer and I went years ago, but now we're supposed to celebrate this. It was stuff like that where I'm like, this is bitter. This is like, because I remember showing everyone those pictures, laughing, and I'm like, oh, we're like actually, what are we fighting over? We just had a great weekend. Like, people would have wanted John to be there. It was so baffling. And then it was like, I guess enough had happened where like I got sent the link right before Reinie did, and I'm like, I don't want to take like normally I would love to hang out with John, but I'm like, it's just oddly hostile. I just would rather not. And then like Reinie took it, and I'm like, oh God. And then I just even a friend of mine was texting me during it. They're just being like mean to her and like shaming her to the point where she's like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have gone. And it was like, it was just mean spirited. It felt almost like bullying. I was like, Jesus, like it was like they just soured a good thing in like a week. And I was like, what the hell happened? We should have been riding this high. It was so weird because the month before I was at Garden State Comic Fest and there was no like disparaging that. And it seemed odd. Like it seemed really odd. And malicious. And I didn't get it. And I was really confused. Or like when Shane was like, I backed the wrong horse. Like he said that about Tampa, and I'm like, I was at Tampa and Garden State. So was Graham. So was Cecil. Why was it like why was there a faction battle? Why? It was just weird in general.
On my next stretch goal for Liam, we're going to go to 30,000. And then we're going to go to 40,000. And I think 40,000 is where I'm going to be happy. With Liam Gray beating Reinie's Fiendish 2.5. I think he's earned it.
Yeah.
I think you should do that.
Legolas, thank you for the 2. Shane, find Reinie and go on a beer run with her.
Yeah, let me peel her off of Vaughn and I'll get going.
Oh, is that where she's at?
Damn. She meat running over there.
What I did was I reached out to 2 people today. I said, Irene, if this is the direction you want to go in, like, then don't answer me. If you have a problem, like, or something like that, you want to talk, because I don't know what's going on with you. I don't understand. I just say hello. And I know she was online because I saw her tweeting. She didn't answer me. And I said, okay. Yeah. Kelsey, the same thing. Kelsey, I said, do you want to come online and talk about this? No answer. None. Not even a fuck you. Like, no answer. And I went, all right then.
When was this? Hang on.
Today.
Today.
Oh. Today, after all this. And, you know, that's the whole thing. Like, Reinie is kind of like staying out of it as much as she can, but on the other hand, she's appearing on Flashcast. And she's doing stuff that is, you know, she knows, I think, is sending a message. So,
yeah.
Referring back to my comment I made in my second Heroes Con video, where I said unfortunately the SJWs were right, this is what I would show the Von Clauses of the world. Heather Antle is a notorious misandrist. Her comic book credits are tied to failed books and bad sales. She didn't continue getting work because she was talented, but when she said Irene Strakowski was joining Extreme Toxicity, she ended up being right. Eric July, Yellow Flash, and all the Dungeoneers, from Reinie and Narwhal to Michael Bancroft, Camel Moon, a long list of names and their fans who were all about the indie comic scene that used to be or were tied to Comicscape, all pushed out due to the jealousy, the ego, the feminine rages that existed within Ethan van Sciver, Jon Malin, and Shane Davis. When it comes to Reinie, though, on a 2026 draw stream, EVS revealed what we already knew about what happened with Irene.
Road Shot, I like Reinie. Fantastic talent, great armpits. Yeah, John and Shane chased Reinie away. They did.
The question has to be asked, did this story need to be told? The answer is, the amount of people in the chats and on stream, and the number of people who approached me behind the scenes from various sides of the space was enough to tell me that yes, this was a story that to this day remains a sore spot for a lot of people. It is still talked about in Ethan, Malin, and Shane streams. The chats often bring it up, and it is often referenced on X. But the misinformation about the events that took place the weekend of July 28th, 2023, the events that are not spoken of, and the fallout since then that is still felt to this day, indicates that there was a need to set the record straight, to exonerate some people, holding others to account, and forever remembering the lessons that all of this left us. What has happened since then? Did karma take its place? Well, Ethan van Sciver sold $1.2 million for his Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet campaign in 2020. In 2025, his Cyberfrog prequel books only managed to raise over $174,000. Jon Malin's crowdfunding numbers are also diminishing, going from over $200K for Godlike 1 to a little over $100,000. In backer numbers, Yellow Flash beat Godlike 2 with his book Mighty Golden Patriot, featuring a cover drawn by Irene Strakowski. Malin's antics in 2024 and 2025 had finally earned him a spot as a regular subject of ridicule and a-logging on channels like Lord Raptor Jesus and Outer Pangea. So much were the jokes and criticism that Malin, a man who gave himself justification for laughing at jokes at the expense of others, now ended up having his own meltdowns.
George Alvarez says Malin can't handle when other people do the same shit to him that he does to other people. What are they doing to me that I do to them? I didn't know who the fuck they were. They can't stop talking about me, George. Let's find out what your name is. Let's let the world go dig through all of your paperwork, and let's see what kind of skeletons you have in your closet, Lord Raptor Jesus. You're a real tough guy. Put it on the line. I put it on the line. Be a tough guy. Don't be a coward.
But where the fuck do you live, bro? Like, let's just have a conversation. We can just fucking talk, man.
Stop hiding behind your little avatars and your fakes names. Come on. Let's get out there. Let's get in the open. Get yourself on camera. Let's see what that real name is, Lord Raptor Jesus. And then we'll see what time finds out. Oh, I'm sorry. Soy Child Dong Lover came out here. We got them all, guys. Come out. Bring them on. Let's go. Keep going. Come on. Try to hurt me, bitches. Come on. Try to hurt me. You ain't got shit. Oh, no. Big BB did pan fuck Malin's wife. Oh, no. Oh, no, everybody. Pan fuck Malin's wife. Oh, no. Come on. You fucking retards. Lord Raptor Jesus says, tune in tonight for all the receipts, John. What receipt, faggot? What receipt are you going to show that's going to fucking bring me down? What are you going to show? Come on. What are you going to show? You're going to show a fucking court record? Is that what you're going to show? You think you got something on me with that? You think you got something with me than that? There's nothing you have on me. Nothing at all. Nothing. That's it. You want to put my wife's name out there? You the man. You the fucking tough dude now, aren't you, you fucking coward bitch? Cowardly fucking bitch. Come on. Get in here. Stop hiding. Stop hiding. Can't wait for your fucking docs to come out. Can't fucking wait. Lord Raptor Jesus. Lord Raptor Jesus, get in here. You're so tough. You're the scared one. You're fucking scared, motherfucker. You are the one who is scared. Come in here. Get on camera. Let's do this. Come on, motherfucker. You're going to call me scared? You can't show your face. You can't reveal your name. You can't reveal the state in which you live. Motherfucker. Come on. Come on, tough guy. You piece of fucking shit.
Now, listen, here's the thing. Lord Raptor Jesus, he's been playing the worst content about us. Like this guy, here's the thing. If we wanted to take Lord Raptor Jesus down, his entire universe, we could.
Malin's gonna bitch it. Can't share any of his toys. Malin's sitting in the bathroom. Good Charlotte playing in the groove. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Because he shows a video where Jon Malin puts a gun in his own mouth.
Wait, what?
Now, that is against YouTube's TOS, okay?
Against the terms of service.
Wait, what?
Shane Davis's crowdfunding record also seems to indicate declining sales and backer numbers as well. Cecil joined Anna and stepped away from the inner circle of Comicsgate. Cracks had begun to show when family became fodder for jokes. Cecil famously took Ethan and CG to task over it.
That's how you respond. The entire Griftosphere comes in and protects this and acts like it's the worst thing imaginable.
I disagree.
And it is not the worst thing imaginable.
First of all, because now you're turning it into something else. No one ever said it's the worst thing imaginable.
I'm speaking on behalf of the chat.
You took that to say the worst thing. No one said. I'm saying,
Patrick, get back here. You started this.
Once you start down this road, and this has always been my contention.
The cotton candy age. It's the pillow age.
I'm saying once you go down this road, which is, oh, that's fine, it escalates. It should be a full throttle. No. And it started with honestly, it started with.
Let me know when it escalates. Then, when it escalates, let me know. But when it comes to me saying, Cecil, you look like a puppet. Shane Davis, you look like Beaker. Any of these people who put themselves on the internet, and she is on the internet, can expect to receive mild ribbon.
Dude,
and that's what
I'm
that is.
fighting with Ethan, I want to punch
and
you.
Everybody protecting her.
Ethan,
and
hold on.
saying a word about Jon Malin being thrown out of C2E2. Nobody says a fucking word about that, but everybody runs to White Knight for this one stupid thing. Like, oh, everybody
something
this
I didn't
is
like.
A disaster. This is really beneath us.
I
you know better than this, Cecil. You're a roast master. You're a roast master.
Fuck you.
Guys.
I didn't white knight anybody. I saw something. I gave an off-the-hand comment. It was not a thought-out thing. It was literally my fucking...
I agree with you, Cecil. I agree. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying this is not the worst thing in the world. I don't think your reaction was bad. I think you're right.
My reaction is it's and I see fucking like Mint, and she's like, I don't understand. You make fun of fat girls, so why is it not the same? Here's what it is. If I'm mad at you and I'm making, they're like, you made fun of Heather Antos that day. It's like, because I was mad at Heather Antos. I did not say, hey, I hate Heather Antos. I want to hurt her. Let me go after her dad or her father. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
go after them, Cecil. You're saying go after.
We probably need to do another eating competition.
I'm not good at them. Anna wins all the time, and it's
no, it wouldn't have Anna or Cecil in it.
You're right.
Yeah,
I just called myself there.
With Anna's recent departure from CG, Cecil quietly joined her, and they now stream together to their own audience on a revised Jack show. It has been said the live viewer numbers almost double Ethan's.
You know what I feel bad about? My microphone. I feel bad that I put a Cecil sticker on it. See? And now Cecil won't even stream with me. So that's bitter. Now I got to look at Cecil every time I live stream and remember how he used to be my friend. And now he won't stream with me. That's ironic. Can I peel this off? I can't peel it off. It's stuck there.
Manny Summers announced she was doing 5 volumes of the Pit collection in trade paperbacks, with Volume 1 in 2025, Volumes 2 and 3 in 2026, and Volumes 4 and 5 in 2027. As of April 2026, no announcement has been made on when Volume 2 would crowdfund, while Volume 1 has yet to be fulfilled. Oh, and before the Fansfest, the con that Ethan had entrusted PTP and Mr. Biggins to set up? Well, it is finally going to happen. Scheduled for October of 2026, the same month New York Comic Con is happening. Also, as of this video, it is currently crowdfunding on Fund My Comic. Yes, a Fansfest is asking you, the fans, to foot the bill for a fans con. Remember when Ethan said this?
And, you know, I will say this, like, I still believe, and by the way, it was immediately tossed out. I said, we need to make our own convention. And he immediately wants it to be as big as MegaCon. And he's like, it's going to fail. All we have to do is just get a little room in a hotel where we have tables all around. Maybe we can get a couple of vendors to set up comic book booths. I know there are some vendors in Florida that have shown interest in that. And just do one of those small day conventions, weekend conventions that we see all the time. And we'll gauge the turnout. But I'm telling you, if we put on a Comicsgate convention like that, where you can have a free table to advertise your comic book, to sell your comic book if you're a Comicsgate creator, and invite fans out to meet with us and hang out with us and have drinks. The Friday Night Tights guys do this all the time. They get a big turnout, and there's nothing to do there. We could do this too. I'm sure we could get 500 people to come out and do this easily. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. And then we could adapt it. We could grow it if it turned out to be bigger than that. If it was smaller than that, we could adapt to that as well. But we got to actually do it. And I gave him the task of just like, can you organize a small convention? Since you're the party planner, you and PT party, whatever, you guys, why don't you organize this tiny little convention and we'll see how it goes? No, I'm worried about us being embarrassed. Fuck that. Who cares? Just do it anyway.
Well, in 2026, it needs to be funded by the fans. Nerdrotic and Kino Casino laughed and mocked Ethan van Sciver and Comicsgate over this.
Be like crowdfunding the meetup. That's gay. It just totally ruins the whole point.
Yeah, guys, pay to meet me twice.
Remember, Jer crowdfunded the meetup as well that he never delivered on, and he said he hired security for it already. There was going to be salmon pinwheels and catering, and he needed people to RSVP for it, and then he scammed everyone out of that as well. You need to pay me
he's
for
like,
the
pay me because my presence alone is worth all of your money. You should be paying them. You should be paying for their flights to see you.
Supporting us, and the least we can do is throw them a party. So
I mean, it's like being It's like being OnlyFans.
Wow, being OnlyFans. Wait a minute, what? Maybe there's more. Hang on, stand by.
Say something terrible.
Well, so Nerdrotic is saying basically that thanks to his fantastic fans, you know, he can make a living doing this internet thing, and he would like to thank them by putting on this event. Well, unfortunately for Comicsgate, they're not making much of a living off of their thing.
And that's based on the crowdfunding numbers as of April 2026. It doesn't bode well for the outlook of the con.
Who thought this convention thing was a good idea?
It was a good idea 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
It's not for you.
It was a good idea when they fucking. It was a good idea before we didn't make it for you. Music. It was a good idea before I made music.
And what of the Dungeoneers themselves? Von Comic continues to show increasing success with his Phenomenova series, which is on issue number 4 as of this video. Reinie continues to find success with her Fiendish series, as well as doing conventions like Heroes Con, SuperCon, and even overseas at Osaka Con.
What is Mark's favorite work from Narwhal? Narwhal is great.
this is a bit of an exclusive. I'm doing a project with him, actually. I'm doing a project at the moment. So that's my favorite project with Narwhal. I think
the favorite project is the one I'm doing. There you go.
I've loved this stuff. You know, I mean, I've checked it out online on these crowdfunders and everything for maybe 3 or 4 years now. And he actually blows me away. Like there's so few artists who really surprise me. You know, like when you first see Alex Ross, where you're like, I've never seen anything like this before, you know, or you first see Jim Steranko or something, you've never seen anything like it. Narwhal's like that. Like Narwhal has perspectives I've never seen before. And I almost can't believe what he can do with the page. He's so good. I'm so pleased to be working with him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's one of the guys I've had on my channel before. He's just a solid guy. Another guy who just loves comics. And like you said, he has a weird, and weird is a good thing in my mind, a weird way of looking at everything. Oh, wow. I'm blown away that you're doing something with Narwhal. That is awesome.
Narwhal secured himself a partnership on a limited series called Vatican City for Dark Horse Comics with writer Mark Millar, known for his writing credits on comic book cult classics like Kick-Ass and Kingsman: The Secret Service. The series was very well received and sold well in the comic shops. Naturally, CG did not care for the success of Narwhal, now going by his name, Per Berg.
Narwhal, highly untalented. Sorry. Crash and burn. Sorry, guys. It's really good, loose drawings that are great for storyboarding out, you know, some animation that'll never be made. There you go. That's Narwhal for you. You know, I hired him because the story I wanted told was going to be told through like the interpretation of a child. That's why I hired him to do one of the supplemental stories in Graveyard Shift. He did one book with Mark Millar, and nobody's looking at Narwhal being like, oh, I got to become a Narwhal. I have to do what Narwhal's doing. He's not like some highly influential guy where kids are grabbing their pencils and being like, I can't wait to draw like Narwhal.
Phil Diaz is still churning out books, the latest being The Man with No Strings #1, and continues to find success at the convention scene. He has put all the drama behind him. Ali Sanguis experienced real-life changes which caused the delay of her book, Egg Beater, but she has kept her backers updated and intends to finish it. She still streams with Reinie on occasion. PTP is still publishing books, like the Book of Enoch, as well as producing action figures from American Ninja X and US Assassin. Michael Bancroft, Camel Moon, both continue to produce books. And yours truly? After attending my first big convention at Heroes Con in 2025, I got to meet Per Berg in person, as well as Reinie. Vaughn Coleman and I had already attended a few cons together, and I got to see live in 4K the madness of Ethan, Jon, and Shane's reaction to our appearances. Shane being the only one who attended the con. The madness is documented in 2 of my videos. This showed that the bitter feelings from Tampa would never go away. What did go away were the creatives and their fans who made up a large chunk of the creative spirit that used to be in Comicsgate. They're still around, but you won't find them in drama streams. They're just busy making their books, saying hi to the fans, and setting an example.